All right. We are live. We are live in the building. What's up? What's going on, good people? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Y'all know the deal. Y'all know the routine. Whether you're catching it live or you're catching it, excuse me, whether you're catching it live or you're catching it after it's uploaded, you know the deal. You know the routine. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit that like button. Nate got background noise. I don't know what he's back there doing, washing dishes or something. Hold on, I'm trying to mute Nate. Okay, I'm gonna temporarily drop Nate down. How about that? We're gonna temporarily drop Nate down. But y'all see the topic, y'all see the title, y'all see the thumbnail. Are black people the biggest white supremacists? Yes, we're gonna be digging deep into that. It's probably gonna get a little controversial. Probably gonna get a little controversial because we're about to get all the way into that one. So you know there's gonna be a good one. So strap on in. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What is up? What's going on, good people? Welcome to the show. Like I said in the pre-intro ramble, like I said, make sure you hit the like button, whether you're catching it live or you're catching it after it's uploaded. Make sure you hit the like button. Shout out to everybody in the building. Do appreciate each and every one of you being here. Mike and Vince, well, we know that's Mike, but Mike from Mike and Vince Perkins in the building says, make Sundays great again. Lando Calrissian in the building. Shout out to you. Anton Chigaruth. No, that's not a T on that. Shigar. Okay, cool. All right. Rod of God podcast in the building, and shout out to Rod of God. Shout out to who else we got in here. I saw Free Zone Lou in the building. Shout out to you. Ragnarok in the building. Shout out to you. He says, I wonder who is your true friend, the woke leftist who judged you as a victim, who needs help, or the wolf that sees you as a potential equal. I would argue that the leftist is more of the wolf. That's just my opinion. That's, or Fox. Foxes seem more sneaky, Anyway, we got to get in this. Shout out to Keep It 100 in the building. Shout out to Deadly Raver. He said it's sad enough that the question even needs to be asked. Oh yeah, it needs to be asked. Shout out to Keep It 100 in the building. Shout out to Keep It 100. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. We're about to bring Nate back on up. We are joined by little big Nate, and I was talking about him in the back, and I said, all right, we got to start the show. We got to start the show on this because I don't even know if he's ready, but I'm about to just roast him whether he's ready or not. I was looking at it, he got a picture of him when he was a kid, and I was like, you got the little part right there on the side of you, got the look, you got the fro with the part. that's from that era when dudes was parting they froze on the side. so so yeah, definitely had some fun with that. All right, I got him unmuted. Nate, are you there?
Yes, sir, Mr. Riley. I'm here.
All right, good. Glad you're here. You told me something in the back, and it was you were setting up to tell a funny story, and I was like, nah, we gotta do this on the air. We gotta do this on the air. You said you used to get mistaked for somebody when you was younger.
My right hand to God, and it's only going to give my enemies even more fodder. But I swear to you, on the lives of my children, people would mistake me for Gary Coleman from Different Strokes. And as you can see, I kind of look like him.
Nah, and I said this in the back, and then we just had to stop the conversation. I'm like, you look more Emmanuel Lewis right there.
Nigga, easy. Now, I am taller than Gary Coleman eventually turned out to be now. I am 5'5". But when I was in first grade, I went to a birthday party for, in New York, a lot of foreign people. My best friends were, God honest truth, a pair of Pakistani twins named Atef and Kashef. They were my best friends. And I was invited to their birthday party, like their 7th birthday party or whatever. So my mom took me to the apartment where they lived. I went to go play with Atef and Kashef and the other students, and my mom talked to their mom. And then my mom left, and she came back a couple hours later to get me. And Atef and Kashev, I told them I was thirsty, so we went in the kitchen, and their mother was in the kitchen, like getting the cake and stuff ready. And she saw me. She started, "You got it, Coleman. You got it, Coleman. You got it, Coleman." I said, "Who's Gary Coleman?" They was like, "It's Different Strokes." I said, "My mom thinks you're Gary Coleman, Arnold from the Different Strokes." I said, "No, that's not me. That's not me." And she swore to God I was Gary Coleman. It was crazy.
Man, that's funny, man.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. A nigga's gonna clown me. Go ahead and clip it, you bitches. I don't care.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious, man.
Real shit, man. Real shit.
All right, so we got. He said, Rod said we all look alike to them. Yeah, we'll just go with that. We all look alike to them, and we'll use that. We'll use that to save you. We'll do to them. Gary Coleman. All right. So
we have to ask the question: who's quote unquote them? Who's them, Bernard?
In this situation, it was Pakistanis.
Pakistani single moms. Okay, I got you.
Okay. Yeah, but all right. So we got a controversial one on our hands today. We do, and so we're gonna get right into this, and this is one of the things we was talking about in the back, because before, okay, if we're gonna ask the question, are Black people the biggest white supremacists? It I think it does take a little bit of laying out what white supremacy is. And you had said something in the back, and I was like, okay, you're going down the route that I kind of want to go with it too, where you were saying that you were going to dismantle many aspects of it, of what we call white supremacy. And I assume Black people's part that we play in it is that the aspects of it that aren't even a thing today that we think it is, Black people are the ones that want to uphold it and say, no, it is this big thing that's existing and holding us back. But you had said in the background, in the back, that you were going to dismantle many aspects of what we call or what we consider white supremacy. So we can start right there. We can start right there, if that's all right with you. That's what you want.
No problem. But if I could just clarify, I'm going to dismantle the idea that America is this bastion of white supremacy. I'm going to completely dismantle that, and I can literally do that right out the gate if you want me to.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and go down that route first before we get into the part black people are playing into keeping it going, or as somebody said, it exists, but it's black people that makes it run like a fine-tuned machine. Like it's black people that keep oil in it or something like that. I don't know the exact quote, but we'll get into that. But go ahead, you got the floor, you got the mic, you got it.
All right, well, to the audience, I appreciate you being here. Please hit the like button, because if we meet our attendance goal every Sunday when I come, there's going to be an attendance goal, and if we meet it, if we hit the like and we share it and we do everything we need to do to meet the attendance goal, I will drop confidential, never before spoken of Black Manosphere meetup news that only I can give you or Sir Tice could give you. And there's one announcement that I'm actually going to have to bring Sir Tice up to give himself, because it was his idea, but we're still working on the paperwork with the promoter. So shh, can't talk about that yet. But there's going to be something after the Black Manosphere meetup is completely done, the dinner and everything, that you'll be able to go to and we'll be able to be a part of. I just we're working on the final paperwork for it. Okay. And I'm going to let Tice announce that, because it was his idea. You know, my main man, $100 grand, motherfucking Sir Tice. Okay. So, I can't curse early on. I'm sorry.
I mean, I know I broke that rule to infinity and beyond yesterday. So well, you see what happens, and you'll probably figure this out if you start like doing, clean pre-recorded stuff. You do clean pre-recorded stuff, and they give you like you don't know nothing about this because you haven't been monetized yet. I'm sorry. But anyway, if you do clean pre-recorded stuff, they'll be a little lenient when it comes to your live stream. So I had some live streams that got like a green $sign light, and I was like, hey, let me try to keep that going. But once I finally tried to keep it going, they went back to yellow. So I said, screw it. I don't even try on the live streams. I just try not to say anything that'll get my channel struck or taken down. But as far as cuss words, I don't give a fuck. There, I broke the ice for you. So wow. Cuss away.
All right, understood.
So I
still will refrain from.
Let's not.
I never want to jeopardize my man's channel. No.
Yeah, let's not try to get the channel blocked or banned or nothing. But
if 2 channels down in 2 years.
So, if a cuss word got to come out your mouth, that's fine. And Captain Cisco, that was you are on it. That was Edward Anderson I was quoting, but I didn't want to put his name on it because I botched the quote, so I didn't want to give him credit for a botched quote. But I was attempting to quote him, but I did it so badly I couldn't even give him credit for it. But you saw where I was trying to go. But all right, go ahead, Nate. You got it.
Yeah, I'll destroy this whole white supremacy argument in regards to America and actually the UK. All right. Mm-hmm. First, I'd like to shout out Michonne Denise. Shout out to Michonne Denise. Y'all really got to go subscribe to her channel, man. She is legitimately the funniest Black woman on YouTube, like in this sector, like on the periphery of this sector. Go check out her channel, Messy Michonne and Michonne Denise. Very, very funny woman. And I know I'm a simp, promoting a woman's channel. How dare I? But Little Big Nate acknowledges our allies. People accuse me of, hating women, or some guy put a comment in one of my other streams, Nate ain't going to get no women because they're going to be scared of him. No, I actually am a woman's best friend. Now, I hate the bitch. I shit on the bitch. I wipe my ass with the bitch. But I treat women remarkably well. You'd be hard pressed to find a man that treats a woman better than me. A woman who knows how to behave and conduct herself like a woman. And especially a woman who extends herself out to be our ally.
Yeah,
and I like know the way that say, we ain't got no allies, nigga.
Well, I like the way that Hood Conservative worded it. He's, out of the whole debate of can you trust these women? Are they doing this? Are they just doing it for money? He just said, whatever. I just view them bare minimum as allies in the propaganda war. It's just he put it that simple, and that's where I was at with it. Like I quit a long time ago trying to assess. To assess the the quantity or percentage of chameleonness in this particular content creator who I don't know, who I'll never meet in person. I just said, fuck it. They're allies in the propaganda war, whatever.
Until she's not an ally, she's an ally.
Exactly.
Until
Yeah,
she's not.
ally in
She
the propaganda.
flips. Oh, sorry.
Ally in the propaganda war until she flips. Yes, we on the same page, but go ahead.
Until she does the April Mason or the Nicole Michelle.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So again, if we meet the attendance goal of 300 listeners, which should be fairly easy, I will drop major Black Manosphere meetup news every Sunday until June of next year when it happens. I will drop major news on who's coming, on what's going to take place. All you got to do is give Mr. Riley and myself the attendance goal. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do, I promise. So hit the likes, share it on your channels. Miss Michonne, if you could share it, please. All you other content creators, if you could share it, please. Please. And I will drop the news. I'll drop the news, I promise. So how can Little Big Nate prove that America is not this bastion of white supremacy? First of all, shout out to Tariq Nasheed. I applaud his business acumen, but he does a tremendous disservice to Black people when every other word out of his mouth is white supremacist, the white supremacist, the white literally every other word out of his mouth is, quote, the white supremacist. And this man's got 8,000-9,000 people in the chat. I mean, he's a legitimate star online. I mean, he's built a massive following. And again, I applaud all that. I'm a conservative. We applaud accomplishments of men, especially as a Black conservative. I applaud the accomplishments of Black men and their business acumen. We don't sit around jealous like fucking weirdos, okay, of another man's success. At the very least, I'll tap him on his shoulder. Hey, man, how did you do that?
Yeah.
Pick his brain a little. But there's no jealousy and enmity from a man. And what you're dealing with me is a man. I'm sorry. I know that upset some of you. You thought I was just some little clown you were going to be able to diss or whatever. I'm more man than several generations of my enemies' men in their family. Several, all put together. You know a tree by the fruit it bears. Look at my daughter, look at my son, look what I build. That's all there is to it. If you can't put up your work, you should shut up. I'm only talking to my enemies, and I know they're listening. They always do. So, how does Little Big Nate rid you of the misnomer that you're living in this horrible white supremacist society? Okay, I'm just going to give you a few examples, Joe. Fucking Judge Zilla.
Yeah,
I always depend on Judge Zilla to say some wild shit.
I love Judge Zilla. I've been for like 2 years trying to get him to either start a channel. When I thought about doing a network and everything, this was around the time you lost your first channel when you came and did a show. When you came and did a show on my channel, I was like, maybe if I did a network or something like that. And I talked to Judge and a few other people. I knew I knew I halfway had you if they banned you from YouTube. So I talked to Judge and a few other people. But Judge is one of the ones who I was like, man, I get Judge over here. He's not gonna do it.
Man, Judge, I wish you would, man. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
I like Judge, but he ain't gonna do it. I've been trying to convince him for 2 years to just do something more regularly on YouTube. He ain't gonna do it. But shout out to Judge. That was too funny.
All right,
go ahead.
So
you got it.
If let me prove to you that Tariq Nasheed, again, he does a disservice to his listeners constantly talking about white supremacy. He should refer to the people as globalists. That's what they are. They're the elite. They're globalists. Many of them are leftists. Just look at the type of social programming they try to institute all over the world. Acceptance of homosexuality. Now, the P word. We all know what that is.
Man, I cringe every time. But yeah,
absolutely. So let me hopefully Maybe one day I'll get to meet Tariq Nasheed and I can have the same bit of influence over him that I've had in this space, helping Black men feel comfortable just accepting moving to the right. You don't have to be a Republican. You don't have to be a conservative. I've never told a grown man what to call himself. The only thing I require of you is that you get away from that party that promotes the destruction of our families and our country, because that's what they do. I'm sorry. Now, how is the fact that we live in this white supremacist world, how is that a misnomer? I'll tell you. Why would white supremacy open their border and over the last 30 years bring in 11 to 30 million brown and dark brown skinned people from Central and South America? Answer that for me. Diluting the number of Caucasians and their effect on the society as a whole. Why would they do that? Why would white supremacy do that? 30 million illegal brown-skinned people. Why would white supremacy do that? I'm going to need you, proponents of white supremacy, to answer that for me. Why would white supremacy encourage white women to abort 44 million of their own babies in less than 50 years? Again, diluting their population, keeping them from dominating most of the states in this country. In several states, white people they're not even meeting their break-even birth goals. They're in decline. In I think like 30 states, more white people die than are born. Why would they be flooding the country with brown and dark brown skinned people if they were white supremacists? I thought, let's read the definition of white supremacy for all my Luciferian leftist buddies. According to Google, white supremacy is the belief that white people constitute a superior race and should therefore dominate society, typically to the exclusion or detriment of other racial and ethnic groups. How do you dominate a society with an increasingly shrinking population? I'm going to need my leftist buddies to tell me that. I have never lost a debate to a leftist in over 15 years. I have destroyed them all. Every last one of them. And
all right, I like this. He's saying why, hold on, he's saying why they didn't let Haitian people in.
What does that have to do? Do you see how ridiculous some leftists are? And I'm not attacking the gentleman, but sir, the point is non-white people dilute white people. You see how it becomes, well, why don't they let the blacks? Let's let some Haitian blacks in. Those Haitian blacks look down on you because you're not productive enough and you sit here whining about the country they're begging and fighting to get into. Please do not. You're not prepared to deal with a man like me, I'm telling you. So just chill. Just chill, dog. You, of course, state your opinion, but think it through before you state it, because my impulse is to rip foolishness into pieces. Well, why don't they let the Haitians in? It's the fact that they're non-white people. Doesn't matter how dark they are. I'm simply showing you, why would white supremacy invite in all these brown and dark brown people? That's the point, sir. Now, let's get back to the abortion. Why would white supremacy have white American women abort over 40 million of their own children? Again, the definition is to dominate in a society. You can't dominate without the numbers. And their numbers are shrinking drastically, not only in America, all over the world. White supremacy, eh? Okay. Got another one for you. Why would white supremacy sell off billions, if not trillions of dollars in real estate to the CCP, the Communist Chinese Party? China owns so much American real estate now. People estimate it's into the trillions. Several large production houses in Hollywood have sold off huge amounts of their public stock to members of the CCP. These are yellow people. These aren't white people. Why did white supremacy sell off so much real estate and so much of Hollywood off? to these yellow people? Why did white supremacy do that? Why did white supremacy get into trade deals with China that are of an absolute detriment to quote unquote white American businessmen? Why would they do that? Because it's not about white supremacy. It really isn't with the elites. The elites are going to use white people just like they use you to destroy our country and bring everyone under a type of slavery.
All right,
That'll be
let
brought
me.
in through Marxism.
All right, let me. I know you got something prepared you want to go to, but hopefully you don't mind if this we do
Oh,
is
absolutely,
a
sir.
little
No, go
more
ahead.
interactive because I mean
Absolutely.
I like the debate and somebody just said something. Okay, well I'll deal with this. There's two things I wanted to highlight from the chat. He said their numbers. He says their number diluting is what the march on Charlottesville was about. Okay, but see, my thing is that was a grassroots thing coming from the people on the ground. The point is that the governmental policies are policies that seem to not care about their numbers being diluted. And going back to what Nate said, the definition of white supremacy is if it was
Dominate.
to dominate, if they're enacting policies that's going to make them be less than 50% of the country, essentially a minority in the country, compared to all the other races. Oh, you put all the other races together in like I think some 15 years, white people will be a minority in this country. Like that's significant, and it says something about what they're doing. Now, I have heard people argue, and this probably sort of goes to your point when you said globalist. That I've heard people argue that basically they don't care about all the admixture and race mixing because it's certain people at the top who they're just like, we're going to control all of these people regardless of what their race is. Let them all come and melt and pot in together. It's a group of probably probably fall within that term you said. So I want to circle back to that term that you said, the globalists. They probably fall within that category, a small percentage of really elite, no upper elite people, top 1% of 1%ers who going to be, pulling the strings and controlling stuff. That's would you say that's probably a more accurate picture of what's going on than white supremacy as Tariq Nasheed would describe it?
Absolutely. Look, no matter how you may feel about white folks, and I've told you, the first stream I did on Bernard's as a guest, I said, why do you care if white people don't like you? I don't care. It doesn't mean anything to me. I've been saying that for almost 4 years in this space now. Why do you care if some white people don't like you? It does not matter. If we were to be honest with each other, there's maybe one white person in your life that could actually affect it negatively, maybe a supervisor, maybe a manager that could affect your life negatively. And chances are he or she'll probably go out the way to show you deference, if we're being honest. Just be halfway decent. They'll probably prop you up on their fucking shoulders some of the time. Are there some people, black people, dealing with racism? Sure. I guarantee you there's a lot more black people getting excuses made for them when they come to work late. I fucking guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. Now, the reason the globalists don't care about whites, let me tell you why. White people have a tendency over the decades and decades of, Stalin, Lenin first, then Stalin, the Marx, Engels, all these horrible systems of governance. White people are very particular about their freedom. White people do not play about freedom in most of these European countries now that the Soviet Union's fallen, and in America. White people do not play about their freedoms. And the globalists know that a free people with firearms, you really can't take them over. There's more guns in America than there are people. There are 120 guns for every 100 people in America. America does not play. And it's primarily the white man that believes that. And the globalists have to collapse healthy, westernized countries who accept capitalism, adherence to moral beliefs. Russia's now largely Orthodox Christian. they are going to be a monumental power. They just banned all homosexual and trans propaganda from their society. They voted to rid their society of it. Not necessarily the people, but the propaganda.
That's a
And
key
of course,
distinction.
elusive. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that's a key distinction to not, not getting rid of the people, but just getting rid of the propaganda. Because that's where I'm at with it. I ain't about, I ain't about taking a bunch of people and chucking them over the side of the cliff. Like, no, I
Understood.
ain't
Me
with.
neither. Me
Yeah, I
neither.
ain't with that. But I can see that the propaganda is running amok to where even the guy who owns Disney had to. I think he sort of took a step back on that.
No. They got rid of him. There's a new Disney CEO who's supposed to be taking the company in a different direction now.
Oh, okay,
They got
yeah.
rid of him.
So yeah, that's how you know the propaganda is running amok. Where they had to fire him or let him go or whatever. So yeah, I didn't fully cover that story, but I was like, yep, it's like I knew that day was coming where something was going to change at Disney. But yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So the globalists have to collapse these healthy, capitalist, freedom-loving white countries. That's why America lets brown illegal immigrants from all over the world, and yes, some of them are African, come into the country, get on welfare. They're angling to allow them to vote. Illegals are voting in our elections because voter ID is racist, right? Protecting the sanctity of an American citizen's vote with a picture ID is racist, according to Joy Reid, Al Sharpton, and all the usual Luciferian liberal suspects.
Oh yeah, I heard that
But
right.
protecting your vote is racist.
You didn't say illegals voting, did you?
They want illegals to vote.
Who's actually saying that?
Oh my God. The whole operation Turn Texas Blue is about giving illegals the right to vote so they can turn Texas blue. But little did they know, Hispanics are trending GOP. They want illegals to vote in America. I don't have the documents and stuff ready, but I can pull you articles. Liberals writing articles encouraging the idea of allowing illegals to vote.
That's wild.
Dude.
That's
yes.
wild.
Nigga, I don't make none of this up. I've been studying this for going on 20 years, dog. My children, I put them to bed. I bought a 17-inch Apple back in 2007, and I'd sit and I'd read and look at shit and look at what these monsters are doing on the left with their neocon and rhino co-conspirators on the right. How they're selling out our country, how they're using, look, there's a place, shout out to Sub-Zero, because he made this a huge issue in this space. There's something called the Frankfurt School. All right. It's called the Institute for Social Change in Russia, or the former Soviet Union. And Marx had several men build this school under Lenin's reign in the Soviet Union. And after the collapse of the Soviet Union, and when Hitler came to power in Germany, those scholars saw the writing on the wall. There's going to be war all across Europe. Millions will die. They got out of the former Soviet Union. They came to the United States and they got jobs in the colleges and universities. Trained elite level Marxists were educating our children in colleges and universities. People throw the word Marxism around. You have no idea how completely destructive Marxism is. And look no further from Black America, because many of the civil rights organizations were invaded with this Marxist ideology. And you think it's a coincidence that in Marxism there is no marriage? There's no marriage in Black America. In Marxism, there's no family. There's almost no families in Black America. In Marxism, women are community property. You cannot have one man, one woman in a unified family situation under one roof. Are black women not community property now for the most part? Selling themselves on Instagram? Nigga, we are Marxism in this country. I don't want to get off into that because it's not the subject, but it's very important. And if you really want to delve deep into it, you got to come to the Little Big Nate Show. And also, if I'm going to post my Rumble channel, because on Rumble, nobody's going to ban me. So
yeah, be dropping that in the chat room, and
here's
then
my
moderators.
Rumble channel.
Drop it in the chat. The moderators will pick it up, copy and paste it, and spam it out to the chat room. But car designer Chris in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate the $10 super chat. And Blue Diamond Jim in the building says, is the host really denying illegals voting? No, I was asking a question about it. You know the difference between a question and denying something. You know the difference between somebody not knowing something and asking the person to clarify versus denying. I knew that. So yeah, that was what that was. I wanted them to fully substantiate that. I wanted them to fully substantiate it. And it's already disagreement in the chat room because there's people who saying that Nate watched too much Fox News and illegals. Here it is right here. He says illegals will not be voting. This dude is nuts. He binge watches Fox when nobody is looking.
Do you see how incredibly immature black people are, especially black men?
And from both sides of those, two people from both sides of those perspectives. What? It's accusing me of denying it for asking a question so you could speak and clarify and substantiate it. He's gonna say, is he denying it? And then the person on the other end is
I see your point. I see your point.
Yeah, calling you a nut. Like both of them are nutty to me. But go ahead.
Understood. One paid to say it though. Yeah. Shout out to him for paying for it. But okay, again, with the white supremacy, my last point on it, I could go deeper, but we got to get into other things. In the UK, you know, I'm sure the proponents of white supremacy will say that white supremacy is everywhere. It's in the UK too. Well, why did the governments of the UK allow between 8 and 10 million illegal North African immigrants to flood Germany, Sweden, Italy, Greece, and a few other countries? Flooded them with immigrants. Immigrants, you have no idea the absolute explosion of grape in the country of Sweden by these military aged immigrants from North Africa. There are towns in Germany that are now 75% North African immigrant. Why would white supremacy flood Europe with North African immigrants? Like the guy that just said, oh, you listen to Fox News. You're immature and you're weak. You are incapable. You don't have the intellectual capacity to understand these things. So you do what weak, leftist, effeminate black men do, and you call names and do stupid personal insults. I'm not going to insult anybody personally. I'll insult the left because that's what I'm an expert at doing. Nobody does it better. And nobody's been able to refute one thing I say about the left. Not one. I have turned men in this space away from the Democrat Party. And you just listen to Fox News all day when people ain't watching because I'm a dumb nigger male and I can't make an argument outside of that. You are completely incapable intellectually of dealing with a man like me. You should sit and listen. Maybe you'd learn something. Okay. So again, white supremacy. Why would they engage in behaviors that are limiting the scope and influence of all these white folks? Why are they trying to collapse Western type capitalist white countries who have weapons, where the citizenry has weapons, attempting to do weapons bans all over the world, when if you know history, when they take the weapons, they kill the citizens. This happened throughout Eastern Europe. This happened in North Vietnam. This happened in Cuba. They kill you when they take your weapons. And what do horrible black Democrats do? They sign up to have their weapons taken away. For a goddamn ticket to go see Chris Brown, you'll give up your weapons. For a free cheeseburger at Wendy's, they have the weapons swaps. Black people are retarded on the left. When you come to the right side of the political spectrum, all you find are successful, high-level men with businesses climbing their corporate ladder. Many of these brothers have established solid families. Their children are brilliant. You know, they have women of other races sometimes. Yes, they do. Because they're not tied with some false sense of obligation to a race of people that mocked and ridiculed them for so many years. They are not stupid men like weak Black men who get guilted into doing everything they can for the community. That's why you don't get anywhere. You want to bring people who literally care nothing about you and your level of success and give your time, labor, and effort to them. How much do these people appreciate the billions of dollars in welfare they get? How many of these people appreciate the $10 apartment they live in that would cost me and you $900? Do they appreciate it? No. You think they're going to appreciate your sacrifice for them? Why don't you go and see? Go tell me how it works out for you. White supremacy, my ass. I'm going to dispel you of that foolishness this stream.
All right, so no, that was a good one. That was all good. That was all good. So are we still on the path of tearing down the this whole thing as far as America being this bastion of white supremacy coming from the top down. Like you got more on that. I know you touched on a lot of things like the whole abortion, the whole abortion aspect of it. You know, it's the abortion and a lot of policies that are basically bringing their numbers, bringing their overall total numbers down. That's going to prevent them from ultimately dominating. That's nothing is proven right there. That at least from a top down standpoint, they're not operating like white supremacists, but it's from like the grassroots. There are movements that we saw like in Charlottesville and a lot of other places, and it props up online in small factions, and then it gets taken down. You know, they get their channels banned and struck, and they got to go to other platforms and all of that. So it's like there's an aspect of it where they're fighting not to dominate, but then there's an aspect of it where there are certain people, there are certain individuals who are in power, who are dominating, and they seem to not give too much of a damn about all the little people on the ground, regardless of the race. That seems to be more of what I saw
And
with that.
you know what's crazy? You know, the media, Rachel Madcow, the semen drinker, Supreme Don Lemon. You know, these are your people, you leftist Black men. You promote homosexuals. You promote people that live in complete opposition to their biological design. That's why that community is rampant with suicide and drug abuse and the most disgusting level of promiscuity you can imagine. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sexual partners, sometimes every month. And you promote it. You sick leftist Blacks promote this depravity. Gay is the new Black. I swear to God, my man Nick Taylor was up here a couple of months ago. Nick Taylor said, I don't want nothing to do with no Democrat Black people, especially Democrat Black men. You are a scourge on our race and our country. You are pathetic in every sense of the word. You don't like what I'm saying? Don't just rap in the chat. If Bernard opens it up, come up and defend the Democrat Party promoting pedoism. Come up and defend Black women being in charge and in leadership over the Black community. Come up and defend it. Defend you following women. Tiffany Cross said, well, why don't you get behind Black women? Al Sharpton, one of their main talking heads on the Luciferian left, you know, Black men that don't vote for Stacey Abrams, they're just insecure. Roly-poly Martin, you know, it's misogynoir when you don't vote for the Black woman. This is the Black Democrat male. He is disgusting and pathetic. And if I was a Black woman, I would date white men than date you coward ass niggas. You're cowards and you're weak. And that's why you have nothing. Nigga, I show everybody what I've produced. The gorgeous children, the beautiful home, the Manosphere meetup, nigga, I produce. You want to talk shit? Show me what you've produced, nigga. Hashtag show your work or shut your mouth.
All right, let's get into how black people are the biggest white supremacists. Let's get into that one. That's what we're here for. That's the interesting.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
Let's go ahead and get into that. We at the 45-minute mark, almost 170 people in here. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Let's get ready to go. So black people, the biggest white supremacists.
Can we look at the first video? It'll show it probably better than anything.
Oh, okay, cool.
That first video, you know, the hug. Shout out to Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic, they always want a hug. Wow. This illustrates that better than just about anything.
All right. So I'll get into that. Give me
I can pull it up. I got it ready.
No, I got it. It's right here. It's right here. Elisa. Holy crap. Elisa. Okay, I thought you might have to pull it up. Oh,
no problem. I'll get it pulled up for you.
Yeah.
Got it ready just in case. That's what a prepared man does. He's always ready. Let me see here.
Yeah.
Goddamn computer's slow though. It sucks. Hold on a sec. Let me see. Okay, here we go. No, that's not it. Okay, this is it. I want you to watch this disgusting and pathetic excuse for a black male. I can guarantee you with complete assurity he's a Democrat. And he is a beautiful example of why Black America are really the main white supremacists out there. Watch this. Why you don't like me? He kissed this skinhead's face, said, why you don't like me, and give me a hug. What a disgusting display of black male. I can't even call it manhood. Black people are the country's biggest white supremacists. Why else would this black man, who I'm sure probably has children, might have a girlfriend, might have a family, has time to go worry about what some degenerate cracker thinks about him? You black leftist males are simply the most pathetic human beings in this country. You literally follow women and do everything they tell you to do because you're too much of a coward to check the bitch. Watch this.
Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Yeah, give me a hug. You don't like it?
Bernard, could you imagine yourself out there doing that?
No.
As busy as you are with your businesses, as busy as you are raising your two black sons into manhood, like I raised my magnificent son, goddamn alpha male warrior. Thank you. I'd like to see my critics do that. But honestly, Bernard, I mean, you're a busy man. You got a lot going on. There's from what I understand, there's a lady friend in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you got custody of your two sons. Shout out to the black men that get custody. God damn it. You're a busy man. Do you have time to go out and talk to inbred, meth-addicted white boys and kiss them on the face, hug them, and demand that they like you? Do you have time to do that?
That would be a no.
Why is there a black man in this country that has time to do that? Can somebody answer this to me? I need a black Democrat who is popping mess in the chat. Answer this for me. This guy votes the way you do. This guy worships black women and their leadership like you do. Because you follow them, you're scared of them, you don't want any conflict with them. You won't even talk politics around them unless it's, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You tell me to vote straight blue, I'm gonna do it, ma'am. This is the kind of black men black women should never respect, never have anything to do with. There is not another man on earth that goes around demanding other men love him. What kind of fanook fucking bullshit is this? Leftist black men are largely effeminate and gay. It's just the truth. Why would you go around begging a man to love you? You're supposed to be competing with him. You'll gain his respect through competing, through being excellent. He'll have no choice but to respect you. And if he doesn't like you, who gives a fuck? You weak, coward black men. This is disgusting. And you should be ashamed of yourself if you find pleasure in this. Did this warm the cockles of your empty heart, nigga? Did it? Let's continue. The white supremacist walked into an anti-fascist rally. Anti-fascism? These a bunch of stupid gay leftist weirdos. Black and white. They're lice-ridden Antifa buddies. This fucking neo-Nazi had the balls to face you all by himself. I don't give a fuck if you like this cracker or not. He's the one with the balls, not these cowards. They punched him in the face. Hundreds of men versus one. You bitch-made cowards. I know some of you weak leftist nigga males. Oh, man, get him. Beat up that white man. Hey, rat. Rooting for a bunch of weak, effeminate white males to beat up this redneck. What kind of man are you? I swear there are so many black men in this country that are absolutely pathetic. And until you get off that Democrat plantation, that's exactly what you'll be. A pathetic excuse for a man. Let's see what else happens. But then this happened. You see how the leftist media promotes you being a goddamn effeminate? Mr. White Supremacy, Mr. I need the white man's validation. You're like a bitch. You're like a bitch needing goddamn Instagram likes to make her feel good. You need the white man's likes to make you feel whole. Don't you, Democrat black man? We don't need that shit on the conservative side. We compete with the white man. And if he wins, he wins. But plenty of times I've won. Plenty of times these motherfuckers see my performance and they give me pay raises. They give me inside information on how to easily get my iCar Platinum certification. And I've gotten it. And I make even more money as an auto damage appraiser. That's what conservative and Republican white men will do if they see you about that business, nigga. I told you in my stream previously on Bernard's channel, the overwhelming majority of white conservative men just want you to leave them alone. You got a problem with a man that just wants you to leave him alone? Or do you need his love like these disgusting niggas needed this white boy's love? How come you don't like me? And then you kiss him and hug him. If I was a black woman, I would spit on you. I wouldn't fuck you. I'd spit on you.
Why you don't like me? Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Give me a hug.
Look at this. How many of you leftist black men feel good about what you see here? How many of you? This breaks my heart to see such a effeminate, weak black man who needs validation from one of the lowest forms of white people imaginable. This goddamn skinhead demon. You weak, cowardly black males. I don't blame black women for not respecting you fucking losers who think and act like this. I'm not talking to the niggas that are real men. I'm not talking to the black men that wake up every day, go out and represent themselves to the best of their abilities and compete with other men to win. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about you bitch-made weirdo cowards that have no accomplishments to point to, and you come to this space to trauma bond with other losers. That's who I'm talking to. And you're almost exclusively on the left. You weirdos.
Give me a hug. Yeah, give me a hug. You don't like it?
Look at that. Look who's in the front of the protests. Two black women, Bernard. They're always in charge on the left. The woman. Weak, cowardly black men follow black women. They follow black women's leadership. The entire black community is completely backwards. Completely. I'm going to show you a video coming up of a BLM statue, a black woman with her Bolshevik Institute of Social Change black fist in the air. They took it down after one day. I hope they burn the fucking statue. Because if she's representing BLM, she's gay, she's a, quote, trained Marxist, and her ultimate objective is the destruction of the family and our capitalist system. You feel good about that, black man? You feel good following that kind of leadership? The scammer scumbags of BLM? That's the leadership you leftist black men follow. I told you I was coming here to cause separation, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take our best and brightest men and get them the fuck away from these goddamned losers who want to sit around and trauma bond over the bitch, over the white supremacy, over the fact they don't know how to accomplish anything as men. I'm getting our best away from them, and we're going to get building. I promise you that. You say black men can't build? Nigga, watch me. Watch what I do. And we'll see if you say that. You fuck. Look at these filthy, degenerate whites. These are the people you need the validation of. These are your friends in the struggle, aren't they? You losers. I'm too busy competing with motherfucker white boys. I'm too busy beating them at their own game. Most of the time. Sometimes they beat me. I got beat out for a position or two in my day. I told you about the time I got trumped at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I used to be an assistant manager there. I tip my hat to them when they defeat me. But I've defeated them plenty of times. That's how come I'm a college dropout in a $500,000 house. Not in Connecticut, but in South Carolina, nigga.
You know that what I am saying is going to change the world. And therefore,
Richard Spencer. I'm supposed to be terrified of Richard Spencer. Ooh, he's a white supremacist. Let me run and hide. Ooh. Didn't Biden say that you Negroes are scared to leave the house because of police brutality? 250 black people get killed by police every year. 250. Black people kill over 9,000 black people through murder. Who should I be afraid of when I leave the house? Thank you. Thank you. And you do know Richard Spencer, in an interview with Dinesh D'Souza, admitted he voted for Biden.
That one was interesting. That one was interesting.
I swear to God.
I saw it.
The interview.
No, I saw it. I saw it. I'm just saying.
He voted for Biden.
Yeah.
This is your white supremacist. This goofball white boy. You scared of him. You coward black men are scared of this clown. You're weak. And if I was a white woman, I'd be fucking white boys myself, you bitch.
What
you all want to stop it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Beno.
No, I think I heard what you said wrong.
I said it if I was a black woman. I didn't say I would. I ain't fucking with no man. But if I was a woman and I had to choose from a group of men who are devoted to traditional values and starting and taking the risk of building businesses, or a bunch of men who are going around trying to get hugs and kisses from white degenerates, I'll go with the fucking white man. I'm sorry. I just will. Now, if you want a real black man, you got to come over to where we are. I got hundreds of them. Hundreds of dynamic, accomplished, brilliant black men. Only problem is they got requirements for you. They got real requirements. They don't play your stupid feminist games, madam. So it's up to you whether or not you qualify. But let's finish watching.
You're going to fail. We are stronger than you, and you all know it. That's why you're ganging up here like some kind of mob.
Look at these people. You wanna join forces with this Afro degenerate white guy, you do know most of Antifa are convicted pedos. I showed you Andy Ingo's community tab. Antifa has threatened his life. They've doxed him. They've attacked him physically. And he puts out the information about them. Antifa after Antifa after Antifa have convictions for child pornography and pedoism. Antifa after, if you go to his community tab, all you see is Antifa, where he shows their criminal records and they have convictions for child molestation. And you and Greg Mathis told you to go out into the street with your black woman and the white kids from Antifa and how you better march with them. That's black, leftist, effeminate male leadership. And any nigga in the chat popping at me, I hope you got the balls to come up here and face me. I really do. I really do.
I just thought it's really important for a person with privilege. I'm white, I'm straight.
Listen to these self-hating, self-deprecating, trash-ass white people. What a joke. I told you about befriending turncoats, you dumb black people on the left. You're so giddy because you worship white people. You fucking worship them. So this degenerate ass turncoat white bitch can get on camera, talk, I've got privilege, I hate my white self. And you get all giddy inside because you're trash. Rather than appreciating somebody being excellent regardless of their race, you get all warm and fuzzy when some stupid white turncoat comes to you and tells you how much they hate themselves in an attempt to have some weird solidarity with your worthless ass, you dumb black Democrats. You're the bane of our existence in this country. That's what the fuck you are. And I hope you got the guts. If Bernard doesn't want to open it up, come to my channel. We'll get it popping, nigga.
No, I got it up and open right now. All right, Christopher Blamer's son. I think I said that right. Yeah,
let him come up.
Son.
You can come up right.
No, hey, Nate. The link is already in the chat. I already put the
excellent
link
come up
in
here.
The chat. So Christopher Blamer's son, if you do actually want to come up, if you do want to actually come up and you're not just talking, the link is in the chat. Just take that link. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. So
but
come on up.
You got to hit the super chat, folks. As a matter of fact, I might even make a prerequisite if it's okay with Bernard. You got to hit the super chat and tell Bernard you want to come up.
Nah, I ain't gonna do that.
You ain't gonna do that. The brothers
some
who
people,
support.
some people do. Some people do that. I'm not going that route. But no. If you want to come up and debate the Nate on any of these issues, that's personally what I would love to see happen here.
Oh yeah, let's get it popping for him.
But by all means, yeah, take the link and come on up. OGJ Speed in the building says, Lil Nate, I'm Uber Eat using Ussy. You need to settle down. You're going to mess around and blow a damn viscer in your heart.
I've been doing this for years. I'm perfectly fine. So don't worry about me. Worry about the 23 million dead babies. Why don't you worry about them? Have as much concern for them as you have for me.
J Speed is against abortion. He be caping for women, but he
he has said much more about me and my tone than he's ever said about abortion, Bernard. Sorry. That's just a fact.
I'm not going to argue with your point there, but I do know his position on that. He's actually, I asked the question one time, can you be pro-black and for abortion, or you can be pro-black and pro-choice at the same time? I think he was one of the ones that came up and drew a hard line that saying no, the liberal black people who are pro-choice but also got their fists in the air talking about they pro-black, they are in contradiction. So
I understand. It's just weird. There are guys in the chat saying it's not that serious. The complete destruction of the black family is not that serious. Black people only producing 1 million jobs when Hispanics, according to blackdemographics.com, produce 3.5 million jobs, and Asians over 14 million. It's not that serious, bro. See, that's the problem. These are the kind of black men we're dealing with who think the destruction of Black America is not that serious. Well, if you don't care about Black America, that's fine. You do know the way Black America goes, this country will go. We are the canaries in the coal mine. And if these problems don't get fixed, not by fixing the nigga trash, let them burn and die, by getting our best people away from the nigga trash so they can thrive and build and grow like all the other top level people in every other community in this country do. They don't drag their worthless trash around with them. If we can finish listening to Miss White Turncoat here.
To come out here and denounce all hatred and bigotry, and to show these people who advocate for
except for hatred against white boys, that's okay, that are conservative, that's okay,
and who are anti-gay, that there's no hate tolerated in our community, and that we will.
Oh, you're anti-gay if you don't let your son sit on some transformer freak's lap at a convicted pedophile trans story time day. You're anti-gay, you know. This is the left, folks. This is how the Democrats and the left get down. You don't serve up your baby to be violated by them. You're bigoted. You're a bigot. Laverne Cox, the famous Black trans person who's a man, a mentally ill man that says he's a woman, said when he goes on dating websites and when the men find out he was born a man and they reject him, he said that's homophobia, that's transphobia. If you won't date a transformer, quote unquote, woman that you found attractive and was desiring them before you found out they were a man, you're transphobic. If you don't want to sleep with a biological man, there's something wrong with you as a man. This is the left in this country and what they're promoting. But we got guys in the chat saying it's not that serious. You know, if they tell me to sleep with a man, I'm going to sleep with a man because I don't want to be called a bigot. That's what these people are. And you all are playing with them.
All right. Now, I do want to see what J Speed got to say on this one. So, or on what you've said thus far, Nate. So I do want to see what J Speed got on this. And the last time y'all was on my show at the same time, I actually clipped it. It turned out to be a classic. So
I hope it don't. I hope it don't. As much as I want you to be successful, I hope it don't turn out to be like the last one. But anyway, believe it or not, me and Lil Nate got a lot of things in common. We just have different ways of getting there. You know, I'm pretty much against all the things he said this morning. But I want Lil Nate to know that just because the conservatives over on the other side of the street don't think their ass is not being lubricated too. So you got a lot of conservatives over there in the closet, out of the closet, on the skating ring. And just take San Francisco as an example. So don't act like they ain't being greased up over there and they ain't picking up the soap happily over on that side too.
Okay.
So I don't think you can just narrow it down to a party that is having dysfunction in this country. I think it's just in general, people in general, you will have bad people and good people. And another thing I want to say about the women, you know, I'm kind of confused on this. I think me and Bernardo had some of our biggest arguments on this point. If our women is kicking our ass the way we say it is, how is any other nation go ever look at us as a fair fight?
Nate, do you want to answer that? And I don't even know. Okay, well,
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, okay, I was trying to figure out what he mean and what he mean by. Yeah, what do you mean? Hold on, wait, time out. Hold on. First, before you even break it down, what do you mean by they are kicking our ass?
Well, this is what we said. I mean, he said men being led by women, and we get so much.
That's exactly what's happening in the Democrat Party. You're led by women.
Okay. Then my statement is, and my question is still on the table then. And then I'm explaining. If you got a nation of black men, you got a nation of white men, or whatever color you want to use on the other side of that river, and you getting your ass kicked by your women, how in the hell that other side of the river go ever look at you as being a fair fight? You'll easy win. If you're getting your ass kicked by your women, you'll easy win. That's what I
So,
said.
but okay,
I agree with that.
I guess my problem with your question is that you're talking to somebody who's trying to shake those men who are weak in following behind women, and he's trying to Nate is the one trying to shake them and break them away from that so they can move properly like men. So I mean, it's almost like you're barking up. It's almost like you're barking up the wrong tree. It's almost like you should be joining Nate to bark at those men.
It's not that I'm not joining Nate in his I guess review of the nation or the black community, whatever community or whatever you want to call it. But I don't think it's as serious as that we want to say it is. That's where I come to that fork in the road, because I know there's a lot of black men out doing a lot of wonderful things, doing a lot of great things in our community, outside our community, and all levels of occupations and everything else. So it's just like a whore in the street. I wouldn't spend my time trying to coach her to be the woman I would need to be. I just go find me the woman I need. So this is where the fork in the road comes for me.
Don't talk about the horrible women. That's basically what it's saying. Don't talk about
No,
the
that ain't
horrible
what it's
women. Focus on the women you want. I said on this show the day before my first channel started, I want fewer ruined black women. For several years, I hold up as an example the ruined woman to the woman who isn't ruined, and I put the fear of God in her not to engage in the behaviors of the ruined woman, so we can have fewer ruined black women. You don't want me talking about the ruined women. That's your perspective, and you have the right to it. But nobody's going to tell me what to say.
I talk about them too, but I give them less power because I talk about the ones who are exercising the way they should be carrying themselves in our community. And I constantly
talk about on my show, I constantly say I'm not talking about all black women. I'm talking about all black women like these.
I understand
if that's not good enough, then I'm sorry.
Nate actually get called a simp from time to time for how much he will elevate, lift up, and even promote the ones who are conducting themselves how I think they should conduct themselves.
Okay,
he does not want me talking about the bad women.
No, it's not. It's not. No, that ain't the problem, Nate. I'm saying is, if you got 99 things that happen good in your community, why you spend so much time on the 1% is not doing good.
No, there's way more than 1%.
No, I'm using
that
as an example. I'm using that as an example, bro. I'm not saying it's 99, but what I'm saying is
that's literally what you just said.
Listen what I'm really saying. What I'm really saying is, I came up as a young man looking at the news, reporting on our community, and the only thing they did was spend so much time reporting on the negative of our community that the average person would think our community was upside down. What I'm saying is there's 99 things happening to you good in your life. I'm gonna use you as an example. Then why would you spend the 1% of things that happen bad in your life? You spend so much time and giving it so much power.
Whoa. First of all, there's really not anything bad happening in my life right now.
Well,
I'm working with a bunch of six-figure brothers building the Black Manosphere meetup. I'm about to launch redpillapparelstore.com. I got some pretty. My son is headed towards the UFC. He's in a new gym under actual UFC fighters now. Got a lot of great things going on.
I would have told you.
But like I said, and I raised a drop-dead gorgeous daughter. Everybody's seen her. I could throw up a picture now if you want me to.
I see.
And I see these goddamn young black women prostituting themselves. My 24-year-old magnificent son tried for 3 years to find a black girlfriend, and he couldn't find one suitable based on what I taught him about what a woman's supposed to be. None of them met the fucking mark. Because when they would give him their Instagram, he goes to it, they're twerking, they're cursing, they're getting tattoos, they're talking about burn down the patriarchy. And he says, I asked him a couple of weeks later, how about old girl? What's up with her? Oh, Dad, there's nothing I could do with her. There's nothing I could do with her. And it happens over and over and over again. And I'm pissed about it. And I'm going to talk about it. And whoever don't want to hear it doesn't have to listen to it.
I want to listen to it, but I want to listen to the leadership more than anything. Because if I had a son who couldn't find a decent girl in this United States of America when it's over,
he doesn't have the opportunity to go over the United States of America. He goes where we live.
What I'm saying is, Nate, what I'm saying is, if I raised my sons and they couldn't find a decent woman in 19 million black women in this country, he don't need a woman. He need a goddamn psychiatrist.
Watch what you say about my son.
I'm saying my son. I'm not saying yours. I'm saying mine.
First of all, your son won't have access to 19 million black women. He'll have access to the women in the vicinity of where he lives geographically, sir.
But he can travel, can he?
He's a young man with a job. He's a young man with a job, and he does 2-a-days. He goes to the gym for 2.5 hours. Then he goes to Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for another 2.5 hours. He doesn't exactly have the time to travel for women. He's on his purpose. And he was hoping to find a young lady he could date around where he lives. And he can't find a black female.
I'm asking, would a woman be his purpose too?
He's a young man. He wants to date.
That's what I'm saying.
He has standards, and these females around here aren't meeting it. And some white ones don't. And there's a couple of Latinas who haven't either. But his primary focus was black women, and he can't find one.
All right, hold on, wait. All right, go ahead. OG, let me hear what you're trying to say in response.
Number one is, you can go and look for fish at Kentucky Fried Chicken all you want to. You're going to only find specialized in chicken. Number one. And number two is, if he's looking for them in the 99-cent store and Instagram or my OnlyFans, that's exactly what he's going to get.
No. Let me explain something to you, because you're out of the loop. When a young man approaches a young woman these days and asks for a number, she won't usually give the number. She'll give him his Instagram. You're out of the loop. You don't know what you're talking about, sir. So when the woman, he's not on, whoa, let me finish. He's not on Instagram looking for women. The girls give them their Instagram, because that's what young people do today. You don't get a number like when I was young. You get an Instagram. It comes off private. He's able to look at it, and he sees how goddamn debaucherous the young women are. Now you can go.
I hope you know where in the background, because you probably scare all the goddamn women away.
I know. I scare the women away, and you prop up the trash.
Voice? Come on, man. I mean,
you prop up the trash. You got all the smoke for me. How many streams have you did about the 23 million dead black babies? You got all this smoke for me. You got no smoke for them. None.
I did. My last video was about that, Nate.
You've done one. And how many years you been in this?
I did many.
How many years you been in this space?
Wait. I did many.
I don't believe you.
I did. You don't have to believe me, bro. I ain't trying to prove nothing to your little short ass.
Good. I'm glad.
Right.
Okay, well, I will. You.
I give OG credit on this. I do know he's against abortion. Nate, you may have I cannot recall any videos he's done on it, and I get his thumbnails from time to time. But I know we've had conversations about it. He's been on the panel, and he is he is against abortion. And I remember you telling a story how you was like protesting against some abortion clinic. This is probably back in the 80s, 70s, 30s, or whenever you was a young man.
Right.
You know. Yeah, you was involved in some protest against abortion or something like that. So
most certainly.
I give you credit on that. But
I just don't go at it as hard as Nate do.
Hold on. But this is where the conversation get kind of weird. Like Nate, not weird, but just Nate did lay out how he taught his son, how he trained his son, and how he trained his son on what to look for. Nate's son is, I think, 22, 23.
No, he's 24 now.
24. Okay, so let's just say women between the age of 20.
Bernard, 1 second, Bernard. Some nigga called me a woman beater. I'm gonna need him timed out now. I tried to find him, timed it out myself. I'm not gonna accept that kind of insult.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Time
that clown out, if you don't mind, please.
Yeah, that's borderline. That's borderline blockable offense. Time it out now. If you do some junk like that again, just blocking.
Sissy nigga, you.
Hey, Bernard, could you put up what I'm sharing?
I don't want to,
Because
but
Nate always,
yeah.
please, could you blow it
We
up a
don't
little bit,
need to
sir?
see your glory days pictures,
No,
your coke high.
this is my family. This is my family, bro. I'm finna go from left to right. That's my
Oh,
daughter
those
right
your
there, Nate.
kids up top, but that's
That's
you
my
at the
daughter right
bottom.
there, Nate.
Okay.
And that's my son
Congratulations.
right there, Nate. And that's my other son right there, Nate.
Congrats.
And then that's the gorgeous me on the right side. So you don't have to look at it. But that's the 3 right there. She's 23 years old. You say I'm out of the loop. I'm not out of the loop, bro. I got a 23-year-old daughter. And she don't have no fucking Instagram neither.
Congratulations.
Hey, you should introduce your daughter to Nate's son. Okay,
Oh, hell
never mind.
no.
Never mind.
Hell no. That ain't going like that shit. I'm not gonna mess up my
Not hell no.
bloodline
Fuck
like
no.
that. I'm not gonna mess up my
Fuck no.
bloodline like that. That's some bullshit. Nah, you even starting some bullshit like that. You think I'm gonna mess up my bloodline like that? Look, Nate.
And I'm gonna mess up the
look, Nate, come up waist high. All my kids over 6. All my kids over 6 feet tall, bro. I can't do that. My daughter's 5'9".
and has the number 6 as an IQ. And has the number 6 as his IQ. Exactly.
Okay, and don't make any difference.
I know it doesn't. It never makes a difference in Black America.
At least my
The
son.
IQ of a man makes no difference in Black America. You're right.
By no midget. Now my son.
I know. And you told me to do push-ups. What is it with you boomers and push-ups?
Because work your body out, bro.
I know.
You can't.
Should have worked.
You
Maybe
know how to
should
do
work the
push-ups.
brain
You
out.
already low to the ground, bro.
I know.
Homie,
I came to this space. I called myself Little Big Nate. I called myself Little Big Nate. I don't have a problem being short.
All right.
I don't have a problem being short.
Nate,
I don't have a problem being short. I'm Little Big Nate.
All right. Hold on. Let me get it under control. All right. I was joking, but in all seriousness, as much as y'all disagree and go at each other, I do think OGJ Speed actually would, raise a good, respectable daughter. And I met Nate's son, and he obviously raised a very, very, very well-to-do young man. I was joking, but in all seriousness, I do think. Never mind. All right. All right. Y'all on opposite sides of the spectrum, but I have talked to both of y'all enough to know that aside from all the internet yelling, both of y'all are actually decent men who've done some right in life. But okay, so let's
Yeah, don't be trying to get no tuxedos and shit going and dresses.
Let's not.
Leave that alone.
I ain't gonna go there.
But Nate, let me ask you a question.
But no, I do want to circle it back because like Nate was touching on some points, point out some things that Black people be doing wrong, and it's like, and this is just one of the problems because I know it's like I know OG know that it's a lot of stuff Nate be saying and he be right about, but the arguments just be coming off as you're right, but just stop saying it. Just don't put it out there in the airway. Okay, all right. Well, let me ask you this, OG. Is it that you're looking at it from the perspective of we need to only or bare minimum mostly put out positive images of us, or only speak positive images of us or positive words about us through the airwaves, and do whatever we can to make that be the image of us, regardless as if the shit is a dumpster fire going on behind us? Let's just put positive out there in the airwaves and just so everybody can just feel good. It's like that's what it comes off as. I honestly think that's y'all only disagreement, really.
No, but not. My thing is, I do the same thing Nate do, but I spend more time on the image I want our nation to look like versus what our nation look like. So I put a good example of what that woman should be. You see what I'm saying? Because I already know you can't scream or holler a person to change. You have to become the change that you want that person to be as far as the example. You can't talk people into this. They got to see great examples. And I think we spend a lot of time on bad examples. And the women who do come in our chats and do come in and stuff never get to see the goodness of our example. So you can't, it's like putting a clean glass of water beside a dirty glass of water. It's not that you ain't going to talk about the dirty glass of water, but the example itself shows you there's not that much conversation about the dirty glass.
Can I address this? Because that's just
Go ahead.
I just have to disagree because I believe what you said is not true. There are plenty of examples of brilliant, accomplished Black men discussing these issues. These Black women can have a choice. Most of them sit in the clouds and listen because they're scared to say something because they've never been around a group of men who aren't afraid of them. They've never been around a group of men who aren't worshiping their vagina and scared of them like so many leftist Black men are. I told the story a couple of weeks ago about my ex-wife's sister and her husband. He is a career Army military man. I think he got to E8. Very accomplished in the military. He's retired now. They own a Jan King. They owned a restaurant. It went out of business. And my son and daughter went with their mother to their house in Louisiana for Thanksgiving. My son and my daughter argued down a room full of leftist Louisiana Democrats and crushed them in debate. The father, the husband of my ex-wife's sister, agrees, but he won't say anything. This nigga faced Al-Qaeda in Iraq. His men died from IED explosions. He drugged men who were torn in half to safety, but he's scared of his fucking Black wife. He's scared to disagree with his fucking Black wife. It's disgusting. And I'm going to try my best to put a fucking end to it so men can take their proper role and there can be some goddamn natural order in Black America. And whoever doesn't like it doesn't have to listen to me. It's that simple.
And that was your answer to what I said.
I don't even understand 90% of what you say.
But I'm saying you said you wanted to answer, but you went way left field, bro.
I go where I go, sir.
I understand that. I understand that, but I'm just saying we got to stay. You got to sustain.
No. Okay, no. Let me deal with what you said.
Thank you.
I did address what you said. I said several in this man provide magnificent examples of what a man is supposed to be. We can't be an example of what a woman's supposed to be, sir. We're not capable of doing that. We can instruct women on what they should do. Then they have the freedom whether or not to listen to us. Black women in this country are free citizens to destroy themselves if they choose, or to get up under the leadership of a proper man if they choose. That's what I promote from my channel. And if you don't want to acknowledge that, that's up to you. You don't have to. But coming up here trying to debate me is foolishness, because you're not going to win. What I'm doing is correct. What I'm doing is correct. I have never said Black women are this or Black women are that. I point out the ones that are trash to show the ones who aren't, the ones who haven't fully traveled down that road to perdition that I talked about a couple of weeks ago. Give them an example of what your life's going to be like. You keep on thinking, associating yourself with, and following the ideology of leftists, white liberals, and feminists. You will be through as a race of women. You're already at the point where nobody's marrying you. I have a daughter. I don't want her to be associated with a race of women who openly advocate killing their children, who openly advocate promiscuity and disease. And this is where we've gotten to. All these tens of thousands of Black girls prostituting themselves on Instagram. What are you going to do with those girls? You going to get somebody to marry them in 10 years? Is that what you're going to do?
Nate, I guess I gave you 2 shots to answer my question, and I ain't going to try it for a third. First of all, I only debate people at my equal, and everybody else I teach. Now, I'm going to give you a teaching moment right about now.
What a joke.
I know it's a joke to you.
So far beyond your equal, sir.
You think so? You couldn't wake up on a bad night and be better than me when it comes to debate. Okay? Again, number one, as I know, the best training ever been for women is women training women. You can try to enforce and try to do this and try to do that with women. The first thing they go do to you and turn around and call you a chauvinist and every goddamn thing under the sun. What you have to do to them women do it all with their good examples. You got to get them women's like what's the name? That Muslim woman to come on and have
You
a
ask
channel.
anyone who watches my channel.
Hey,
I promote Crimson Cure and I promote Pink Book
Okay,
Lesson.
good. That
you.
is the type of woman who train women like that.
That's why I promote them.
Good. So when you women, you see when you holler and you do what you do against women.
Here comes your tone, Jason.
No. I ain't talking about the tone. I'm just saying, Bernard, when you try to be a sergeant or arm or a drill sergeant to women, they gonna always have that thing they can use against you. But when a woman comes to a woman, she can properly train a woman to be a woman. That's what I'm saying. And I've seen this done over and over and over and over again. I'm not wasting my time with the women on the corner. I'm wasting my time protecting the women inside the mosque who's been trained by other women.
Okay, when you say wasting your time on that, the implication there is that Nate is trying to train some woman on the corner to act right or something. I think what Nate does is he gives an analysis and breakdown of what the problem is and how this problem becomes a problem and all the odds and ends out of the problem that results and causes more women to be like this woman and why you shouldn't be like this woman.
You ever heard the term preaching to the choir?
Yeah, I heard that term. How does
it means exactly what it says. You're preaching to someone who's already on the road of recovery or already there.
It sounds like you're contradicting yourself. Are you?
No, I'm not.
Are you saying he should or shouldn't be criticized?
You shouldn't be preaching to the choir.
Shouldn't why do you think you have the right to tell a man what to do?
Why you think you got the right to tell a woman what to do?
No.
Hold on.
You don't have to. Are you a woman?
Tell what a woman to do.
Are you a woman? So don't worry about it.
That's what I'm asking you.
Why are you up here defending females that are destroying our country?
Well, no, I ain't destroying shit.
And nobody said you. I said women. I said the women that are destroying our country. Why are you up here defending?
Why are you talking about the women destroying you coming when you got the ones who are
because they're destroying the country.
OG.
Because they're destroying the country, I think.
All right, OG. Hold on, Nate. OG. I don't even think you realize you contradicted yourself.
No, I didn't.
On one hand, you said talking to that woman that's on the path, that's preaching to the choir. You don't need to preach to the choir. But if you're talking to the woman that's already messed up, well, why you focusing on the one that's already messed up? The end game is just, Nate, don't say nothing about women. That's really that's the end game here.
No, end game is let's take it from the beginning. Let's look at the foundation. Okay, I said this when I first came in. If we're men, we are builders, protectors, and leaders, right? If men are in a position where they're not taking up leadership, why not preach to the men?
Again, that circles back to don't say nothing about women.
No. It's not that you don't say women. I already told you the best teachers of women are women. It's been proven.
Then that's fine. But I think a war can get fought at every front. Now, I don't spend time on my show talking to women because the majority of my audience is male. Majority of my audience is men. I do talk about women. But either way it go, I think your biggest thing is you're running interference for something that you agree is a problem.
No, I'm not running interference if I getting results, bro. If he ain't getting results other than screaming and hollering, that's all the results he getting. Well, then he's no different from Jesse Jackson or anybody else out there who's just screaming holler.
All right. So
what I'm saying is,
oh wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Is it about results? I don't know what result you think Nate looking for, or what you would consider a good result.
Change.
Okay, so change where? Like statistical change that we can see in the data?
Right.
Okay, yeah, Nate still got a small channel, so he's not going to move the needle that much. But so right now you're taking the role of somebody who, let's just say there's a brick wall and somebody is trying to tear down that brick wall, but all they got is a chisel. But he like, so what? If all I got is a chisel, I'm about to chisel this motherfucker. And all you doing is the person heckling him saying, that ain't gonna work. You ain't gonna tear down that wall. That's all you're doing right now.
And what I'm saying is there are many platforms out there where he can take his expertise and be more beneficial towards that avenue versus damn near having a heart attack every time you get over a damn microphone.
At the end of the day, you're running interference.
Why you think? See, but nah, you always protect the weak ones, and
I'm not
that's
protecting the weak ones.
you always protect the weak ones.
You're criticizing the criticizer.
No, what I'm trying to say, Bernard, is there's proven strategies and blueprint how to get good results.
Bernard, can I respond to his insult, please?
Go ahead.
I didn't no, you said I was weak. I'm going to show you how much more of a man I am than you. All right?
What you gonna do, Nate?
I'm going to tell you.
You gonna beat up?
Like I said, I have built an organization now of a group of men, including Sir Tice. Almost all of them make over 6 figures. I don't even make over 6 figures. And we're building an organization of men that are going to meet yearly, maybe even biannually. And we're going to maneuver our way to a seat at the table where the decisions are made. And you can sit back and you can watch me do it. Okay. There's a list of names I'm ready to rattle off of people that are already agreeing to come. I'm working behind the scenes, building an organization of some of the most dynamic, brilliant Black men in this space and in America. And you're going to talk shit about me. Why don't you go build something and bring it up so the men can be a part of it? Before you call me weak, I am more man than you will ever be, sir. Ever be.
Okay.
Ever be. That's why the men work with me. That's why I make Black men money when they work with me.
Okay.
I'm weak though, right? And you're an example of strength up here, right?
Next time I need my belt,
I don't chase you around. Okay. You chase me around.
I ain't chasing you around.
Why are you chasing such a weak man? Why are you chasing a weak man?
Look, I come over Bernard's channel. It ain't got a damn thing to do with you. You just happen to be.
No, you're lying. You're up here because I'm up here.
No, I'm not. You're not that important, bro.
You didn't come up here to address me.
I come in here every day.
You see how he does? You see how he does, y'all.
Again, I come up here every day, bro.
Bernard, he comes up here every day. Bernard, he comes up here every day.
He sporadically comes up a lot.
He said every day.
Time out. No, not every day. He came up today because of you, but he do come up a lot.
But he just said he didn't. He just said he didn't, Bernard.
Bernard.
You can't even be honest.
Look, I come up here every day to speak to REM, you.
REM.
Hit the thumbs up. REM.
It's R space M. Why you put a whole nother syllable in that?
I say REM.
You said REM.
I didn't say REM. I said REM.
You got to go for the you're slipping another syllable.
My
in
nigga, dirty folks.
All right. Come on.
You know what the fuck I'm talking about, right?
All right. Here we go. All right, hold on real quick. Come on.
With me right about now. You know what I'm talking about. I come over here every day and do the same thing. I give you a thumbs up, and I say good morning, and then I say good morning to people in the chat, and then sometimes I stay around in the cloud, and sometimes
I know.
So why Nate think? Wait a minute. Why Nate think I get up every morning when he's on a site anywhere that I follow his ass around? Like
I didn't say that. You followed me up here. You followed me up here a few times. You have. I have never followed you anywhere. That's a fact.
All right, real quick.
You can't see past my fucking waist.
Possibly.
All right. Ripside 2 in the building. He says that's exactly what they need to do. He says furniture might be moving during Christmas, but they can raise some little conservatives. Thank you for the super chat.
Shout out Ripside.
Coda Woda in the building says OG Lil Big Nate being family via marriage is the Black comedy movie we need. Man, I'm telling you. I'm telling you that'd be a classic.
I'll give it my Amazon for that one.
Yeah, people be re-upping their Netflix subscription to get that bad boy. But Jeffrey Cornelius in the building with a $20 super chat. I do appreciate you. He says sending my support with a $2 follow-up super chat. I do appreciate that. All right, Jackie Jack, quit dropping the link in the chat. I mean, if somebody I rock with, like, you know, that they requested, you know, you can. Well, just if I rock with you, yeah, just go and ask me for the link. I'll bring you up. But it ain't about to be a free for all. But But all right, go ahead, dirty folks.
Dirty folks, good morning, sir.
You got it, dirty folks.
And dirty folks, like I said a couple of weeks ago, will be at the Black Manosphere meetup. How you doing, dirty?
Man, y'all are hilarious, but y'all loud, bro. Look, check this out. Here's what the impasse is, right? Because I've been amongst the boomers, so I know the boomers. They male feminists, so I understand.
Thank you.
These points. I also
understand. Dirt around on me. We don't have this argument already. My ass. You came in with an insult like you did the last time, bro. Bro, I don't know if your medication working today, but it wasn't working yesterday.
All right, hold on. Touch time. Y'all got a little history. Y'all been on. Y'all been.
Yeah. No, we don't have no history. Okay. The whole thing was.
We got a little bit of history. Come on, he want to do a set. He wants to do his set.
All right. Be cool. OG. Just let him. Let him.
If motherfuckers come in and start disrespecting me from the beginning, I'm gonna turn on my mic.
All right. OG. He just got.
He ain't gonna have a fucking chance.
OG. He just got here. Let's let
what
him.
I said. He ain't gonna have a fucking chance.
Let's let him just lay out his case after he gets.
He already called me feminine, bro. He ain't gonna lay out nothing after that.
He said
boom, I'm a fucking boomer, Bernard. He already done stepped on my toe.
Hold on, OG. He didn't call you feminine. He said he called you a male feminist. That is no.
That is down that loop. Them fighting words right there, Bernard. Where I come from.
You could be
no Bernard. No Bernard.
Okay.
Come on
now. All right. Go ahead, dirty folks. Okay. All right. Go ahead, dirty folks. Just try to refrain from calling him anything.
Name calling,
like you calling him.
I don't play with the name calling bullshit.
You do play with the name calling. You just proved that with Nate.
I never called Nate any name.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, dirty folks.
I say he was short, but I never called him any name. I called him what he is. I didn't make up a fucking name. This motherfucker come up here and make up a fucking name.
Go ahead, dirty folks. You got it.
This motherfucker like 3 dozen of butter biscuit from fucking heart attack, and then he gonna call me a feminist.
Dirty folks, you got it. I'm let him talk. OG, go ahead.
Did you just say you refrain from doing names, and then you said I'm 3 butter biscuits? You know what, GD? Look, check this out. I was gonna roast Little Big Nate too, but you just took his roast for him. I got you. Check this out. Here's the thing.
Careful.
Here's the thing.
See, Little Nate say careful.
Hey, listen, y'all let the man talk. Y'all, when everybody going back and forth, when I bring a new person on the panel, I want them to at least have 2 minutes to just lay out their opening thoughts uninterrupted before we just start cutting them off and arguing with them. Just let them lay it out. I want to see what he came for. I want to see what he came to do his
set. He came to do a set. I'm gonna make sure he's bomb.
Yes. Let's
make sure he's bomb. He came to do a fucking set.
Let's let him get a 3-minute opening set before we start heckling him.
You know what a set is, Bernard?
Yes, he like a comedy set. Like he just
he can't do that, and I'm gonna heckle the shit out of him all the way because I know he came to attack me.
Interrupt me, sir. I didn't interrupt you. I was here quiet as shit. I didn't interrupt
you. But you came in stepping on my toe, bro.
And fuck your toe. Look, I was quiet as shit.
You too.
Your turn.
All right, go ahead. I'm gonna exercise the mute button.
You being rude as shit. Check this out.
I'm gonna exercise the mute button. Go ahead, dirty folks.
This is all I'm saying. I understand their argument. I understand their argument. I understand the boomer point of view because my daddy black. It comes down to this. A lot of y'all talking relationship, but when you even talk commerce, black chicks be in the way. When we set up for a charter school in Chicago, it was the black women that were in the way. The president of the teacher union, Karen Lewis, the president of SCORE, Rosita Shalanda, those were the chicks that was like, yo, black boys don't deserve an education. What about the girls? And they shut down the education program. When we went up there and we saw what Black Lives Matter was doing, and shout out to Black Lives Matter, they gave us free pizza to listen to transgenders talk. You know what I'm saying? I saw that.
Was that a fair trade though? I mean,
for him it was.
I do like pizza though. So, you know, when the guys came up there, they said, man, don't believe in this BLM stuff, bro. You need to come up here and check it out. It's really a gay move. This is when they just throwing the hashtags. I went up there to see it and it was like, yo, this is a real LGBT energy, but free pizza. And when I realized that they were using the Black Lives Matter fund, because I was rocking with a couple of guys in City Hall, and they were trying to get this is like right after they had all those indentured properties, 2008 crash, whatever. Bank of America was just unloading 1,000 homes. They was just giving them away to nonprofit organizations. It was like, fam, come up here, bro. We know you got a foundation, man. Check out these houses. When I found out that the Black Lives Matter were using those houses for transgender housing, I said, well, man, check this out. This not just for women with kids. Then I researched and said this is off the 14th Amendment, which is made for Black men. So we whipped up a housing proposal to help Black men gain housing, get assistance for rental assistance. Not even Section 8, like, what I'm saying, just voucher for rental assistance. And Black women shut it down at the office because y'all vote Black. Y'all don't vote man. Y'all vote Black, and y'all think these women your friends. And they shut it down and said, man, we can't endorse a program that doesn't have a woman on the lease.
Damn.
When I go out here, do the boys club in Chicago, we got Bucket Boys. If you're in the Midwest, you know what a Bucket Boy is. The whole marketing plan is we gonna snatch kids off the street because we can't ask their mother for permission slips because they think you a babysitter. So we doing everything that we do is in spite of women, not because of women. Y'all talk about the relationship side. Girls fuck every day, B. When it comes to movements, y'all keep putting women in the planning stages. Girls are not builders. Girls are interior decorators. You build it, then you bring them in later. Y'all keep moving like Black.
Oh, y'all, please don't include me in this.
I've had this discussion with him, Nate. I'm starting to realize that's just how he talks.
You know you're not talking to me, dog.
I was just about to give up on trying to correct him on the y'all, but
hey, you got to stop with that, dog.
Okay, the women, gays, and felons keep adding everybody else into a move, which is because they're hiding behind skirts. Instead of just saying, yo, this is what we're going to do substantially independently, and everybody else going to get down and lay down. So the issue I have is, first of all, like even biblically, they say women are supposed to teach or preach. So even when OG tried to do a shot, his shot was, he said he deals with guys that's on Ritalin. And I said, man, Ritalin is normally given to boys because they female teachers can't take male energy. And then he said, oh man, because you're against a Black woman because you can't get no ass. I'm like, no, that has nothing to do with you. Not all of your teachers from birth through 5th grade.
Wait just a goddamn minute. You act like I ain't here to take out the bullshit you just said.
That's the
I did a whole thing on. Wait. I deal with people on drugs, bro. I deal with people on meds. That's who's in my house.
But
what I said, no, listen what I said. And if you go quote me right, bro. I said that what usually happen in schools is you have these single mothers who goes in the goddamn schools, intimidated by the principal, the nurse, and the counselor, sign these little boys up for these fucking drugs and get $1,400 extra a month for putting your kid in special ed. Oh yes.
No, and what I said was
you saying they intimidated by the nurses and the teachers?
Yes, and I say when a man show up, it's something totally different.
What I said is the teacher, the nurse, and the principal are women. So it's a whole woman affair.
Either way it go, we've seen Black women at the schools. They anything but intimidated.
No, listen what I'm just saying. No, when it comes down to Bernard, listen what I'm just saying. It's a twofold thing. It's a twofold thing, Bernard. You're getting $1,400 extra a month. That's number one. You're not educated enough to even know what they're even talking about before you sign that dotted line. Only thing you see is your child being put in special ed and put in what's name. But the drugs you give that child is the same thing. It's going to ruin that child. By the time that child get 14, 15 years old, he going to decide what drugs he wants to take from the street. What I'm saying is the whole thing is corrupt. And when a man show up in that school, they don't do it in the same way. You hardly ever find fathers to go up in schools with their children and then be intimidated by the principal, the counselor, and the nurse to give that child drugs.
Okay,
that's what I said.
Dirty folks, if I could chime in real quick also. Every single group you spoke about is a Democrat Party operation, organization, or henchman group like the teachers union. Every single group you named were leftist and Democrat. I wish niggas would just start making the conclusions. Draw from one side to the other and connect these dots. Not that Republicans are your friends. I can teach you about what Republicans are. I've been dealing with them for over 20 years. But the Democrat Party is destroying our race, our country, and the community. Every group you named are Democrats, sir. Every single one of them. Thank you.
We call them the Dixiecrat. That's their original name.
No, I'm done. I was done, Dirty.
Okay.
But now I got to leave. But anyway, it's been a groove. Got to move because clock on the wall, so that's all. But we'll meet again there, dirty folks. And because I ain't got nothing but love for you, bro, because I know you come from in a good space.
I got love for everybody, man. And if
Yes,
I don't,
sir.
I shoot them. But look, what I'm saying is,
right, and I usually beat the shit out of them. So get your gun fast. But anyway, get your gun fast. Get your gun. I know you ain't. I know you ain't. Because anytime somebody do have a beef with me, there's Ken Norton Gym right here in California. I always give them an invitation. Always. And ain't back down for 1 year. If you ain't got no teeth, I'll knock teeth in your mouth. You got teeth in your mouth, I'll knock them out of your mouth. So either way you want to go. So what I'm just saying is, in the end of the day, as long as we all moving in the same path and we want our neighborhood and we want our nation or whatever you call it to be better, that's where I'm in the party. That's where I'm at. We go think of different ways to get there. Peace, love, and always strive for the truth. Thank you, Bernard. I'm going to send you a super chat for having all these goddamn special people on the channel today.
Oh, shit. I knew it was gonna be good having OG up. All right, to the title in the topic, black people the biggest white supremacists. Dirty folks, what's your thoughts on that premise? What's your thoughts on that?
Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But everybody that been in my channel, y'all know I say men can't be black. It's only for women, gays, and felons, because only women, gays, and felons are guys to be black. So with that being said, it's true.
This nigga's so stupid.
It's true.
No, but what he's saying is lines
I know
up.
it's true.
He's putting it in a witty way. But the fact of the matter is, when we talk about divorcing from all that liberal bullshit, that's really what we talking. Thank you. So I'm 100% with him. He just figured out a way to package that shit and put it on a lunchbox and mass produce it. we can put that on a lunchbox and sell it.
It's the matter-of-factly way he says it.
Yeah.
I talked to this nigga on the phone for 3 hours. The first time we spoke for over 3 hours, and the nigga had me rolling. I'm like,
I don't even be joking though. That's the crazy part. But it is what it is, man. 10 billion from Goldman Sachs to be a woman. When I go to these small business association meetings and listen to some small white woman try to teach you how to be a minority, it'll be 50 people in there, 47 women, 3 guys. And I've been in like 3 different times. I've been in them 3 different times. They'll slip up and they'll say women, group, small business owners. This is what they do. And the old Baptist black pastor boomers is in it on the mix because they all slide in. They the intro to bring the white woman into your space, right? When you go into those meetings and they teach you how to open up a checking account and get a tax ID number, which is elementary school stuff, and you're like, yo, girls didn't know this. But girls don't know shit. They just do shit. But I'm like, yo, this is the money grab. This is how little you're black. That if I'm sleeping with one of these quote unquote college educated girls who got a degree in some job that all the answers in the back of the book, they'll come and say, why don't you put my business in your name to get a minority contract? And I gotta look at them like, shorty, really? You know what I'm saying? They really believe that only women are minorities. They don't think that heterosexual men can be minor. And I agree with them because I'm not minor. But I want the check, right? I put down for all the checks, bro. I put in veteran, I put in black, I put in LGBT friendly. They ask me what I am. I tell them I'm a non-binary lesbian.
I was just about to ask you, do you change your gender on paper
Yeah,
to
I'm
get
non-binary
the
lesbian.
get
Yeah,
the
I'm a
benefits?
non-binary lesbian.
Non-binary lesbian.
Non-binary lesbian.
Good deal. Good deal.
Because all that comes from the Equal Opportunity Act, which was for black men, that was commandeered with the help of black women to give to white women. The EEOC Act passed in 1963. It was a black act. In 1968, all of a sudden it became a minority act, and white women were minorities, and black women became double minorities because they get to be double victims. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
So
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
Well, no, I wanted to address something somebody said in the chat. They said something about Republicans are helping to destroy the country. Well, you got that partially right. The Republican establishment, let me explain to you what the Republican establishment is. McCarthy, McConnell. What they are, the Republican establishment would rather be second in control in our federal government, second in power, you know, the top lieutenant for, you know, the king of evil, the Democrat Party, then have MAGA come in and put them on the bench. If MAGA comes in, McConnell, McCarthy, and all the other rhinos and neocons, they're going to get put on the bench and get put out of a job more than likely. They won't be a minority leader. They won't be majority leader. They won't have these positions because MAGA wouldn't allow it. So is it true that the Republican establishment is involved? Yes, they've sold out with the Democrat Party, but like I said, they'd rather be second in command of this nightmare ship that they're running than be on the bench when actual true conservatives come in and want to clean things up.
That's
Okay.
not the big problem, though. That's
Go
not
ahead.
the big problem. Two problems. Number one, government is too big. The older I get, the bigger of a fan I become of Justice Clarence Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was young, they was like, "Oh, people carrying the cocaine." They was like, "Oh, he's a swirler." Now I'm older, like, yo, that man was a sage. And, and the second thing that the blacks do, and I know ain't no blacks in here. You know what I'm saying? We all heterosexual men. The other thing the blacks do is they hate their best and brightest. So
I've talked about that so much. Yes, sir.
so you sell. If you have a 12-year-old kid with a jump shot, the whole neighborhood protects him because minstrel arts is something that girls will sleep with you for. And everything is based on the sexual desires of a 16-year-old girl. That's your entire community based on the sexual desires of a 16-year-old.
Wow.
And 16-year-old girls like athletes and minstrels, comedians, stuff like that. So if you're a 12-year-old funny kid or you got a jump shot, you cool. If you're a 12-year-old kid who learns how to purify water using cardboard and some duct tape, the tiny hat community has to come in and snatch your best and brightest. And
Or wins the robotics engineering contest and stuff like that. Yeah, the
app whatever
stuff. Yeah,
right,
they hate
whatever.
them.
They let the tiny hats come and snatch their kid. They get to take a picture with their kid, like my son going to Harvard at 12, and they give away their best and brightest to go get a white wife and have a great life because they know, you know. Anyway, so that's the problem. The number one problem is how do you retain your best and brightest and
Oh my God,
incentivize your best and
been
brightest.
talking about that.
You know what I'm saying? So I got my own way to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I pay everybody in girls and weed, but like but you gotta keep your best and brightest and you gotta incentivize them. And if your incentive is only girls, which is all I hear in these black spaces, then you'll forever be a slave to the matriarchy because you're worried about what a girl do. And all they do is destroy everything they touch. And I could prove that. If you give women housing, right? Give a man a house, he'll build a family, right? He'll sleep with a girl. She'll wake up 2 in the morning, got to pee, like, oh my God, ain't nobody here. And next thing you know, 6 months later, she's still there. You're like, oh shit, you pregnant. I guess we're a family. You give a woman a house, she don't need no man. You
Right.
give enough women a house, you don't have a community because community is to commune in unity. And men commune. Women don't like nobody. My neighbors' wives hate all of us. And we all hang out together anywhere in the garage and grill chicken, right? Girls hate everything. Everything functional because
Girls hate everything.
I mean, girls stay mad because they hate everything functional and they hate the word no. But no is the restraint. No is no is very important. It's the first word you know. It's the only word that's the same in every language.
That what you're describing is ultimately the biggest problem with with feminism and trying to give women what they want, knowing that they're erratic, up and down emotions, and they're not going to be happy. rather they're underneath men, or rather they got their own, they're not going to be happy. It's like you're never going to win trying to let's figure out, let's look at this discrepancy between men and women, let's try to bring this a little closer, let's try to do this, and it's like no, so you might that's what I always say.
Bring back slavery.
I've been hold on, I just was I've been saying for the longest, you help men, you help men, you help the damn community. If the men do better, the women and children do better. You help the women, all you're doing is empowering them to be strong, independent, and not need no man. Like that's been it. That's been it. Whenever I see anything to benefit, we got to help the young girls, or we got to do this, we got to do that. I'm like, all right. It's like, and that's where I wanted this to go. And we had this title, are Black people the biggest white supremacists? I'm like, all of these initiatives that's so female centered. It's only male centered in helping men exclusively. If it's helping get Pookie a lesser sentence or a lesser charge,
because they love felons, so you got to give her a sex partner back. It's all for women. When you have these kids programs that only go to age 18, they help you do your practice ACT, then kick you out the door. It's because that's the only length that women have to legally take care of their sons. That's for women, to give them free babysitting. Everything about the colors is about women. And then they want men to save them because girls don't know shit. They just do shit. But they do that. I watched for 30 years, since the 90s when I paid attention. We had great neighborhoods in Chicago. When they give women housing, every community they go to gets destroyed. They're like locusts. They go from voucher to voucher, city to city, like, oh, city nice over here. 6 years later, like, oh my God, third highest crime rate in America's. I'm like, what the?
And when those same women, both black and white, are given vouchers to go into nice suburban neighborhoods, and those nice suburban people, both white and black, don't want them there because they know what the result's going to be. What are they called? Racist.
Right. Because here's the thing. This is the
wait, hold on. Thank you. Let me take this super chat down. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, OG Speed. This is for the excuse me, for the Special Olympics. Thank you, OG. Let me just move that down.
Shout out to that. I'm so special to somebody. I always want to go to the Olympics. All right. Here's the breakdown. I would argue that racism in America has always been women. The only difference, the reason that because here's the thing. It was my grandmother, it was my mother, it was like white people bad. My father didn't say nothing. He was just like, you got to work 3 times as hard to get to the same spot. And then I became 17 and started traveling, and everybody that helped me was a white man. You know who don't hire you when they're in human resources? Keisha.
Black women.
Keisha don't hire you. Gay white men, straight white men, black men hire you.
But whoa, black women are the most loyal, dirty folks. Of course they're hiring us by the thousands and putting us in positions of leadership in these companies. Come on, man. That can't be true.
As the story progresses.
Can't be true.
As the story progresses. The only racial thing, the racial disparity is that white women get to destroy entire towns and black women only get to destroy communities. And they want the ability to destroy entire towns. Damn. That's it. Women, gays, and felons. Let them have that. We're going to do our thing. Let them have that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to say about that.
All right. To the person asking who Dirty Folks got a channel, just type it in. Type in Dirty Folks. It should pop up. At least that's what I do. That's what I did when I first found out about them. I just typed it in. It should pop right up.
Also, Bernard, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, sir. Dirty Folks is going to be at the Black Manosphere meetup. And something I'll just say publicly, there's a special position that Dirty Folks could possibly play. We have to put it to a vote in the executive council meeting this week, the conference call. So once the brothers speak, Tyson, the executive council, I'll know if our good friend Dirty Folks will be able to play that incredible role he's supposed to play there. If you don't come to the Black Manosphere meetup, if you're a like-minded black man, I honestly don't know what to say.
You goddamn right, David. Tolerology. Hold on, so check this out. Let me explain something to you. No. Because I call all women toddlers because they got the emotional maturity of 4-year-olds. So once you start seeing them as adults, you start being mad about the stuff they do, right? So, but the name of the course is Marry Your Secretary. So we got a man. I switched this whole thing around, dog. I ain't even black. I got my own ethnic group. You know what I'm saying? Our own religion. You know what I'm saying? Our own doctrine, our own constitution that we got to send to the IRS. Like, I'm not playing with y'all, dog. I changed my ethnicity because I didn't want to be associated with Keisha's. It ain't had nothing to do with white supremacy. I was like, yo, these black bitches is on my nerves. I'm out of here.
That's why I'm so insistent about the absolute horror of black men. I have been saying this for 3 years now. Black men are following black women politically into hell. How are you a man and you are literally doing what a bunch of women are telling you to do in the voting booth? You completely acquiesce to their leadership, and look where their leadership has gotten.
That's crazy.
The black family is almost gone. In another 30 years, there will be almost no black married 2-parent families. Almost none.
Big Nate. So that's two things. That's a two-parter. Number one, we're gonna bring slavery back before FEMA drops the universal income and they take all the good ones. I want my slave first. I want to get grandfathered in my little plantation. Secondly, though, all of that is because of boomers. And I'm not even capping. Oh, stop. Listen, women can only do what men enforce. So if I'm out in these streets training my toddler and somebody like, that's a lady, you can't do it, you're part of the problem. Right? If I can't correct my toddler, then you're part of the problem. You don't say nothing when this woman beating her child in aisle 5 at Walmart. Don't say nothing when you see me choking my chick on 79th Street. When I'm training my toddler, I'm training my toddler. Mind your business. Guys come through and want to stop other men from correcting women and then complain about how men need to step up. That's dumb. They want you to rebuild a community. Everything that needs to be rebuilt is some girl stuff. It's the kids, it's the schools, it's everything that women have full control of. That's the only things that need to be rebuilt.
Look, black men, these single childless, this 56% of black men that are single childless, I would venture to say these are probably some of the happiest men on earth. Middle class. According to the Institute for Family Studies, 1 out of 5 black men is in the upper class. So we got all these middle class, upper middle class black men competing, achieving. And what do we see on the news? We see Michael Eric Dyson with a book called, what is the name of that fucking book? Hold on. Our Tears That Never Stop. Talking about how black men wake up and it's a sermon to white America. Roland Martin, that disgusting slob of a man, just wrote a book about how whites are white insecurities are triggered by black dominance. Just these niggas are disgusting. All Roland Martin did he was a superstar on the Tiffany Cross show, so that's why he was so angry when Tiffany Cross got the boot from the black female CEO of MSNBC, mind you. The person that heads up MSNBC is a black woman. She's the CEO. I can't remember her name. But
I didn't know that, but I'm not shocked.
Yes.
I'm not shocked.
When Tiffany Cross lost her job, Roland Martin went apoplectic. Not that he gives a fuck about Tiffany Cross. And look, I like Tiffany Cross. She's a cute bitch. She said, get behind black women, and I wouldn't mind getting behind her for 25 strong minutes for sure. But then she's got to get the fuck out. She's got to go. She is a horrible human being. Unfortunately, like too many black women on the left. Absolutely disgusting, despicable human beings. And black men follow them. And black men and black women on the left follow the man that they claim to hate more than anyone else, but they worship and seek his validation, the disgusting, despicable, white devil liberal. It's little Big Nate that said the white man is not the devil. I don't think the white man is the devil. I disagree with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I think the white liberal is. Even Malcolm warned you about this white liberal. But you don't want to listen to me. You want to argue with me.
Here's the argument. Here's the argument. The argument is liberal white men really are powerless, right? Because they follow their women too, right? It takes a simp to do what they did to Emmett Till. It takes a simp to burn down Roswell and Tulsa.
Black Wall Street, Greenwood. Yes.
Greenwood, right?
Yes, sir.
It was Little Africa at the time, but we'll go with Black Wall Street. It takes a simp to follow a chick to destroy everything they touch. So the blacks communities are messed up because they listen to women. When I'm telling you, let the women, gays, and felons do their thing. Everybody needs to. Y'all should just endorse me so I could teach y'all how to syndicate slavery, and then you can put them in little safe places, little daycares here and there, and you know what I'm saying. We'll work it out.
So stupid. I love this nigga, dog. Oh my god, man, he is it's so ridiculous.
Oh, man,
But
that's wild.
oh man,
That's wild. Shout out to Tomcat in the building. He said, "Little Big Nate on here, like a flame throwing gun. Preach, brother."
thank
Shout
you,
out to
sir. Thank
Tomcat.
you.
Do appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
James Wingate in the building says, "SYSBM is the only system to create a new black/Malta race. As black men leave now, they get worried that non-ADOS women will build a new community."
Okay, let me say this. Hold
Go
on,
ahead.
James. Check this out. You hit a real point, and this is what I hate about the black thing. Men are tribal, right? You got a flag and a beard. You're tribal, right? White people are only white in juxtaposition to black. When they're just white people, they're Scottish, French, German, whatever.
Ethnicity dominates. Yes.
Ethnicity, nationality, whatever.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I would have went nationality. That's what it's seen more of. Yeah.
Right. What blacks are is a color. It's a crayon. Matter of fact, man, let me pull my crayons up for the daycare. It's a crayon. So if you're dealing in crayon, then you're too inclusive. That means you let the Haitians, the Jamaicans, the Nigerians, the Kenyans, the people who don't even mess with you when they come over here because they get their own little communities. And they get to be black when they're in trouble, but they get to be Kenyan when they become doctors.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
y'all include them because y'all have no national pride because your girls aren't tribal. Women in general aren't tribal. Before I put it on black women, because I always say black women will be a Crip and have a baby by blood, BGD have a baby by vice.
Ooh,
But because that's what they do, because they need to promote a fight. So they have to, you know what I'm saying?
You need to promote a
How many AKAs you know married to Alpha Phi Alpha? It doesn't happen, right? The church lady married to a gang member. Like, this is what they do. They conflate gangs all the time because they need the chaos, right? But all women do it. I say it all the time. White women, French women were sleeping with Germans on Monday, like Third Reich forever. Then on Tuesday, they had D-Day. And on Wednesday, they're like, the Allied forces, you're my hero. Girls sleep with the winner. But the winners have a logo. If you don't have a logo, if you don't say this is what I'm about, then you're gonna be about what they about. Because you don't have direction. So when you say black and then conflated with adios or FBA or whatever y'all want to call it, I don't call myself a descendant of slaves. You know what I'm saying? Because my people didn't come from slavery. I don't know who fooled y'all to think that every Tony and swarthy person here was a slave. Like Massachusetts and New York and Vermont didn't exist. Like people weren't moving north of the Mason-Dixon to avoid slavery. I don't understand it. But
and if we could say this also, if you read the book Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, there's 3 volumes. Okay, I have 2 of them. And the books only quote rabbinical and Jewish scholars. That's all they quote. There's no black scholarship in there. All they quote are the words of Jewish and rabbinical scholars. And they said that approximately 12 to 14% of whites in the South had slaves. 75% of that community in the South had slaves. That community. Most whites didn't have slaves. They may have mistreated the blacks at the time, and because that was simply the culture, but they didn't have slaves. They couldn't afford slaves.
only 1.5% of American whites had slaves. I'm laughing at her servitor talking about they shaved the French women hair after whoever slept with a German, and I'm mad because the first person I thought of was Sinead O'Connor and Jada Pinkett. I feel bad.
I'll be honest. I don't trip on how people label themselves as long as it's based in some level of logic. I know why black people call themselves black is because you weren't given information on our ethnicity for 300 years. It was all kind of washed away. We passed down some things, but after generations of slavery, it kind of got lost. And
no, it did not get lost. It got lost with the boomers because they watched the movie. when I was a kid.
What movie? Hold on. You said it got lost with the
Roots?
boomers because they
What,
watched the
Roots?
movie. You're talking about when Roots came on TV.
Yep.
Okay.
They
Go ahead.
got lost with the boomers because they
So prior to that, what was black people thinking?
Prior to that, there were people whose grandmothers were still alive from the 19 teens. Like my grandmother was born in 1919. There were people
My
who
grandma was born in 1912.
and they were telling you like, look, you're such and such Indian, because it was Indian. They weren't Native Americans then. And people they're like, I got Indian. Remember back then, all girls like,
Yeah,
I got
everybody in the 80s and 90s had Indian in their family. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden in the 80s, Roots came out. Then everybody all of a sudden came from Africa. And Jesse Jackson got you rebranded as African American and all type of stuff. Boomers.
Well,
Jesse,
I'll be honest with you. I identify as a black man. I'm perfectly comfortable with it. And
I'm not
if you choose not to be, well, if you choose not to, I'm perfectly comfortable with that too. That's the beauty of conservatism. You let people do what they choose to do. Just don't infringe on my right to do what I want to do.
Well, let's go down this rabbit hole because I go with black as a shorthand, but I understand the problems with it. So, dirty folks, you know you often mock the term black. You know, I don't use African American. That's a misnomer.
I never use that.
I don't use everything that we've been called leading up to this point. I don't use. Just black is just a quick shorthand. I just go with black. What do you go with? What do you call yourself? Like what do you do, dirty folks?
I don't do anything. I just resort to gangbanging. Because here's the beauty. Here's the beauty, right? When you're a man before you anything. You're born as a man. You won the genetic Olympics. All the slow semen was girls, all the fast semen was boys. Your mom put one leg up, you're a boy. Shout out to you, right?
Okay.
Then you are what your father is. So my father's last name is Summers, his daddy last name Summers, I'm Summers. Then you are what your community is. So that's how you get your nationality, your self-identification, whatever your community is, right?
But nationality is nation.
No. Community builds
nationality.
No, I didn't say anything about nationality. I said
you just said.
I said okay.
You did. I promise you.
I did. Okay, I did. But all that's inbred in your community breeds your culture. That's why Chicago.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Let me get a pop, and then people like pop. I mean soda. You know what I'm saying? Your community breeds your culture. But your culture tells you what you are. See, even if you in America, they'll tell you you're really Irish. You understand what I'm saying? Then
no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Then you expand from community, and you are your providence. So then that's when you identify as I'm from Chicago, I'm from New York, and people really set trip about their cities because that's our providence.
But do you know why, especially we as black men do this, and no other race of people do it to this extent? Because we don't have the accomplishments other races have. These other races of men are competing on the national stage, on the world stage. They're developing trade and commerce with their native countries. They're involved in commerce. They're involved in business. And black men are involved in chasing pussy and trying to say what we are and bringing everybody together and getting our community together and all this other foolishness.
I'll give you that. I'm just telling you how I dictate mine. So then I go off of the tribe that I decided to join, right? So then I have allegiance to the tribes that I chose for myself, right? Boy Scout Troop 429, Crunch Bunch, Alpha, Mason. I chose to be those things and I ride for those things, right? Then I go color because nobody really cares about color. Y'all say racism. Boston is the most racist, most segregated city in America, but everybody still got a Paul Pierce jersey. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I've pointed out several times, even on Bernard's, that I come from New York, one of the most segregated city. All blue states are viciously segregated.
That's true.
I grew up around there were almost no white students in my elementary school in New York. There were almost no white students in my junior high. Almost none. The teachers were white. Almost no white students. Almost none. I come down south when I was 13, 14. I'm going to high school with white kids. What the fuck is this? I'm living in a neighborhood next to white people. There weren't no white people in my neighborhood in New York and Queens. None. So the racist South is the most integrated part of our country. Ruby Red, South Carolina is completely integrated. You know why it's integrated? Because productive people don't mind living next to other productive people. Black people don't concern themselves with high levels of productivity. They concern themselves with who's stroking their ego and who's making their women happy. And this is why you will fail and you'll continue to fail.
All right, let me get these super chats, and I want to go to something that Rod said in the chat room. Shout out to Roddy Guy, but let me get to the super chats first. Shout out to Deadly Raver in the building with the $20 super chat. Do appreciate you. He says, after drop this 20 ball here for the great content, all of y'all, please have a safe and Merry Christmas. I'm just laughing because some black folks don't celebrate Christmas no more. It's like that, or they pretend not to. But you kick them Grinches out of your way. Shout out to Deadly Raver. Do appreciate you coming through with the $20 super chat. Shout out to Stephen Carter in the building. Says, sweet Jesus, thank God for Little Big Nate, Dirty Folks, and Bernard, the new conquistadors. Man, thank you very much for that $20 super chat. I do appreciate that. And Rod of God is staying on this one. I typically don't fight when it comes to that one. I mean, I understand what I was taught. Like I was alive when the movie came out too, and when Roots came out, and that's what it was. We all came from slaves, and then I found out later. I mean, we all came originally from Africa, was brought over on ships. Our great granddaddy Nim was slaves. And generations later, we're here. That's what I was taught. That's what I believed. Found out later that it was black people already here. It was the Native Americans were actually black. Then I found out no, actually the Israelites in the Bible, they was black. And so at one minute we Native Americans, we Hebrew Israelites, we descendants of slaves. We was already here. We crawled out from under a rock. We fell from the sky.
Hebrew Israelite and descendant of slave is the same thing,
Yeah. No, right when I was saying it, I said, "Oh wait, no, those two are together. Those two are together."
Even though it's impossible for them to have come from the Egyptian thing, they just like Egypt because that's what white people conquer the most, and you got the most info on. But all they wanted to be was slaves. Every time they got free, they tried to run back to slavery. Took 40 years to take a 6-day walk. They couldn't read. We got them. I believe in the Hebrews. I believe that y'all run in the forest with no shirt on and y'all try to practice polygamy with girls past their prime. I'm with you.
Damn.
It is what it is. But it is what it is. But I ain't mad at them though. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, score.
If I could, Dirty Folks.
Well, no, wait. Before we get far up field, I just want to deal with this. Like, all right, he said, "Bro, you descended from an African slave. This is a red pill space. Stop with the fairy tales." Now, I will say this: some of it does reek of a percentage of black people not proud of our heritage, or not proud of, the whole slavery thing. And they're trying to retrofit other shit into it to try to make it better. Some of it does reek of that, but I'll admit I haven't dug all the way in with the research to draw a hard line on where I'm at with all of it. But if you dug in on that, the notion that we're not descendants of slaves, do your level best to refute that. I'm not even gonna
go with that, because whether you're the descendant of slaves still doesn't make you African. Only 4% of Africans actually made it to America's shore, and that was 8 people per boat. If you're saying that you got 6 million people at the end of the civil war off 8 people at a time off a sailboat because they didn't have mechanics, there was no engine.
Okay, so see, all right, but right there, you're saying you're saying that the African slave ships and all of that is just folklore. It don't exist. Where they had the people in there just packed on top, just stacked, niggas on top of niggas, just for that long trip, and they just stacking like that Eddie Griffin joke, just the shit on top of shit on top of shit for
Okay.
3 months, just
Let-
piling shit. They like, I mean,
Right, which doesn't account for drinking water. But even let's say it was true. Let's say that you started off with 600, you lost half in cargo, which is poor business. No businessman would do that. And then you down with 3. 3 times 4% is 12. So at the most it's 12.
but
So
didn't he make multiple trips though?
trade winds. They had sailboats, bro. They ain't had no
All right,
motorboats.
so okay, so every
I
all right,
mean,
and
black people got all over the world, dirty folks. They got throughout South America, the Caribbean. They got all as far as well, no, those were indigenous people in New Zealand.
okay, so basically
But they
the
got put
argument.
all over the world.
So
Okay,
did
so
China before they burnt all their ships. China got all over the world.
okay, so basically the argument is this: white people came over to the states and they started some slavery over here on, it wasn't the states at the time, but they started some slavery on this massive land. They did go get some from over there, but they got a good percentage of them from the people already roaming about
Yeah.
this landmass that we now call America. That's pretty much the argument.
That's
So
the argument. So you can still be a descendant of a slave. That doesn't mean you came in on the ship. But you
yeah,
can
so
still be
all of those different theories basically come together, that black people were native to this country. The black people are the Native Americans, and they're also descended of slaves, because some Native Americans who were, per the current story, black, got forced into slavery, and then slavery got abolished, and then black
here's
people
here's some
went.
here's something even realer than that though. Because this is what I give black white people credit for. They change the rules, but they follow the rules until they change them, right? This is where I'm going with that, right? Because you'll whatever, right? Sports, whatever. They'll change the rules every year, but they'll follow it until they change it next season. The reason that y'all had chattel slavery is because y'all was following black women back then. Slavery wasn't something they came over here with. They came over here with indentured servitude. Work 7 years, then you're
That's
free.
what the Irish got put through.
So a lot of people got put through. That's what's on the books. When
That's
it
on the
became,
hold on, wait, that's on the books in this country.
yeah, that was
In
on the
this
book.
country, it was supposed to be 7 years, not that lifelong. Your son is a slave on the same plantation. That
Right,
wouldn't
but we
that
talking
wasn't on
about
the books.
before the Constitution was written, though. But yeah,
Okay.
it was on the books in 1600s. It was on the books, 1700s on the books. When they went to chattel slavery, they said, "Man, if your parents were a slave, you will be a slave. But we still have to give you the ability to buy yourself out of slavery." And people, that's what the Freedom Papers are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they paid you. That's where you get slave wages. Nobody pays attention to that. They think it's free labor. They paid you. Your annual payment was equal to 7 years of work. So if you work 7 years and you saved all your paychecks, you can buy yourself out. But all you had was a bunch of dudes with girls talking about, Leroy, I saw a pretty dress at the quarter store. Can I have a quarter to buy a dress? And they nickeling down themselves to poverty, and they couldn't afford to get themselves out.
So you saying niggas couldn't save money for their freedom because they was buying shit for
They was buying pussy, bro. They couldn't buy freedom because they was buying pussy.
man, come
Well,
on, man.
The
I have
truth.
Hey,
a
hold on. Hey, listen. The link is in the chat, and I wasn't trying to do no big panel or nothing today. But if somebody want to come and speak on the slavery thing, somebody other than Trader MBD, I don't want to hear that name. But but if somebody want to come speak on the slavery thing, and whether or not we was the degrees and levels in which the black people were already here and then became slaves, black people, the Native Americans, or with some, like they say they telling us that the slave ships don't exist no more. They niggas came over on fucking rowboats and they had three niggas rowing the boat, and those were the first 3 slaves. Like, I mean, these stories. The people in the chat that's saying that they trying to change history. That's what it reeks of. But again,
tell me my story don't sound more plausible because y'all heard of slave wages and y'all knew y'all could buy y'all freedom paper. Think about it.
now I spoke earlier about the Frankfurt School, the Institute for Social Change, coming out of Russia. in the late 20s. A guy named Marcuse was probably one of the best known intellectuals to come out of that school, traveled to America, became professors in our colleges. Marcuse, I did a stream on Angela Davis and her communism and how much of an evil woman she is, and how this small town in New York, upstate New York, she wanted to speak at the school, and all the white parents revolted and said no. So she went to a black church, and a bunch of black women and a couple of black men honored her. There were 500 black people there honoring her, and a bunch of high school students came. This woman is an avowed communist and a suspect in a triple homicide that cost a sitting judge their life. There was a man named Jonathan Jackson who was going to take hostages to free his brother Gregory Jackson that was sleeping with Angela Davis, right? So she was accused initially of providing the weapons to Jonathan Jackson, who was killed in the melee. A sitting judge was killed and 2 inmates were killed when he tried to take these hostages. Angela Davis went into hiding, as all innocent people do. And in this racist white supremacist country, Angela Davis was acquitted of the charges of triple homicide and being a co-conspirator in it. She was acquitted. A black woman.
All those black women that y'all thought was peace pick black women had white men. That's not new. You know what I'm saying?
It's interesting that
the crack whore who became a poet. What's her name? Maya
Angelou.
White man. I mean,
nothing but white husbands. Alice White, I think, the author of The Color Purple. Nothing but white men.
Yeah, that's right. White supremacy. I told you, women, gays, and felons. And
so,
even BB asks, what about the 4.5 million enslaved Africans in the 300-year period traffic? Here's the thing. Do the math. 4.5 million times 4% that made it to America is 180,000. There were a total of 80,000 quote unquote slaves at the time of the Civil War. And you don't go off population, you go off documentation of insurance because they were property. There were 80,000 policies on slaves in 1860. So there was only 80,000 here. So that makes sense. 180,000 might have made it to America. Some got killed. It wasn't a lot of slaves. That's my point. It was 6 million blacks at the end of the Civil War, and only 80,000. 80,000 is still a lot. That's crazy. But only 80,000 was slaves. But then y'all say everybody descended from slaves, and I'm like, yo, how?
And again, if I could finish real quick, Alice Walker. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate that, gentlemen in the chat. Thank you so much. So Marcuse taught Angela Davis. He was the premier scholar at the Institute for Social Change, the Frankfurt School, one of the premier intellectuals. He taught Angela Davis himself everything she knew about communism. Marcuse, in a book called Eros of Civilization, wrote about how, I didn't read the book, I'm just going to be honest with you, but I am going to read it. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to read it. He said that we have, because they're Marxist revolution, they're all students of Marx and Engels. There was supposed to be a Marxist revolution that was supposed to take over the world. It didn't work because of that nasty Western capitalism that was making everybody rich and successful. So many people, giving workers the ability to care for their families and live in homes. Women can stay home. Not all women, but a lot of women able to stay home with their families. So capitalism had to be destroyed because capitalism, a man seeking to care for his wife and children, is one of the primary drivers of capitalism. And that's why in Marxism, you can't have a family. These Marxists from the Frankfurt School came to America and they trained guys in the Black Panthers, guys in a lot of these militant black groups. And now all I ask you, like I said earlier, if Marxism teaches there can be no families, look at Black America. There's almost no families. Marxism teaches women are community property. You cannot have a one man, one woman relationship because that violates the power of the state. There can be no masculine man at the head of a household. The state is the head of the household. And a man's labor is given solely for whatever the elites that run the state want. Not a man chasing his own dreams his purpose in building himself up and becoming successful so he can care for his wife and his children. Look at Black America. It is a perfect microcosm of what Marcuse and all these Marxists wanted. It is a failed state in the middle of this country where women run it, welfare runs it, the men are weak and cowardly on the left. They follow the women. The women give almost all of their labor to who? The state. How many Black women work for the state?
Don't worry about it, bro. We're gonna slave them. Look,
you're seeing the Marxist revolution take place, is what my point is.
And I got it.
Through Black America.
And I saw the administrations through the years target Black Panthers and things like that for being communist Marxist organizations. So
Thank you.
What you say matches up. That's not the trick. This is the trick, because girls aren't supposed to teach nor preach because they don't have critical thinking skills like that. So what the liberals did before they even had power is somehow they commandeered media and education, right?
Yep.
So now all of a sudden you went from men teaching in a barn house to making a replica Little Red Schoolhouse with what used to be a nun that was supervised by a father. So it was still kind of cool, but you know what I'm saying? They indoctrinated you with female teachers. Same way, you know, that you got your priestesses now that the Hebrews let teach men the Bible. That's crazy. Anyway, so this is the disconnect. Generation X is Generation X on purpose because we're the only generation that wasn't indoctrinated. We were like the control generation because you need a control group in any experiment. When you really look at what happened and you look at it as number one, the victor writes the history books, but education only has 4 mandatory classes. This is what I learned when I was going to war with the Chicago Public Teaching Union. There's only 4 mandatory classes, and the only reason that women want to be teachers is because of the teachers union is so strong. But you can become a teacher with a $49 certificate. You don't even have to go to college for that. So when you have charter schools and Catholic schools, they don't go to college for teaching. They get a certificate and then they can teach kids, right? So if there's only 4 classes mandated out of 9 classes in your day, the other 5 are fluff to teach you whatever they want to teach you. So in my parents' generation and even my older sister generation, my older sister learned how to play the clarinet in school. They had music class. You know what I'm saying? By the time I got there, somehow they made it a study class, which was a free period. And now it's, you know, the transgender story out. They can fill that time however they want to fill it to indoctrinate your kids. My whole thing is we can do the same thing and get the same money. There's at least $50 million pumping at any given time through Black organizations to represent, that's run by white. It's a Black pastor as the face, white women on the board, Black women run it. And then they say they're looking out for the Black community. And y'all just let it slide because it say something Black like National, the NAACP or Urban League, but they robbing you blind. You know what I'm saying? I got
and that book I was talking about, Eros of Civilization. I didn't finish the statement. I had gone into something else. My apologies. In the book, Marcuse says that, you know, Marxism was about spreading a quote unquote workers' revolution, which is illogical. Why would you attack the people that create the businesses you work at? You see how and what does the Democrat Party do? Tax the rich. We got to tax the rich. We got to take more from the rich. I deal with body shop owners who make $500,000, $1 million a year. They have their bass boat, their Chevy 3500. They put their son in a new Chevy pickup. These are just working men that have built a business that is employing and letting other men take care of themselves and their families. And you want to punish our most productive citizens. That is a aspect of Marxism. In the book, Marcuse said, the man that taught Angela Davis, there's a picture of them sitting together and him teaching her. That in the book, he says, because the workers' revolution didn't work, we can't focus on workers. We have to focus on victim groups. That's what he says in the book. This is a book from the 50s. We have to focus on victim groups. The victim groups they would focus on were minorities, Blacks, women, gays, homosexuals. That's what they said in the book. We need to use these groups to bring in and usher in our Marxist revolution. And what have they done to Black people? They've turned us into a bunch of victimhood grievance culture lunatics who follow women. Women are on news programs telling you, why aren't you getting behind Black women? Don't tell me this isn't true when they're on TV saying it.
All right. I kind of don't even want to circle back here, but Psychopatheist did make a good point that I should have read longer because we kind of moved past it. But he was like, I did a whole stream debunking the myth of all these Black slave owners. Speaking of Free Zone Lou, he says these was people buying their family from basically buying their family from white people, and it was mulattoes. I'm not a one dropper, so the mulattoes weren't Black. That's what some people say to debunk the whole notion that when people try to point out, hey, Black people would own slaves back then. As I always understood it, that it was a percentage of Black people when they got their freedom, they would buy the freedom. If they made enough money, they'd buy the freedom of family members, and then that way they had to legally own them. This is what I said. So they had to legally own their family members on paper, and they, seeing as they owned the property and their family members, they had nowhere to go, so they moved to that property. And then while they were there as family members, you might as well have them pick up around the house a little bit. So
it's only fair.
So they ended up being they were still de facto slaves a little bit. So it's like, but either way it go, they was
That's the last edition of Roots. Chicken George came back after fighting the chickens and bought his family. The same thing.
Yeah, but
universal income. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about taxing the rich to decentivize commerce, so they can bring everybody basically on welfare, and they can bring slavery back. And I'm with that. I just want to beat them to the punch so I can have my plantation grandfathered in.
And what
right,
I don't
let me get to the super chat. Shout out to everybody supporting the stream. Do appreciate y'all. Rod God podcast of the building. Hold on, I read that one already. Shout out to Rod God. Perfect Storm in the building. He said, check the history of Anthony Johnson that played for the Knicks in the 90s. No, just playing.
No, he was
a
communist.
I know. I'm just playing.
Okay.
He said, check the history of Anthony Johnson. Shout out to the Perfect Storm. Do appreciate you. Rod God podcast here. This is the one I thought I was clicking on. He says, I wish I could hit the link. I wish you could too. He said, I'm still recovering from working 4 days straight on my last video. Whoa, 4 days straight on that bad boy? Drop the link to it. I promote it. You put four days worth of work into it.
Damn.
He says, I don't have the strength. I don't have the strength. But he says, salute. Shout out to Rod God. I know how they go putting hard, heavy work into pre-recorded material. But Creation Muse in the building says this needs to be repeated panel discussion in the future. I like it. He says, always an interesting topic once a month or more. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that.
I don't understand, and I'm specifically talking about Rod the God. Just want to understand whether or not the slave part, whatever. Why do y'all fight so hard to be victims? Why do y'all fight so hard to be slaves? Everybody's been a slave. Every nation has been enslaved. Every single one. Everybody else says that's a moment of our history. We keep it moving. Why y'all
put it like this? I think this is
I can answer that
for some people. For some people, it is they want to fight for the victimhood. For some people, it's like, are y'all just revising some history that y'all just don't like just because y'all don't like it? So that's where they're coming from. Now, I freely admit, I have not really dug in and done research on this because, listen, I like history, but I look at it from an academic standpoint. It doesn't define who or what I am or what I'm doing going forward. So that's why I be damn near feeling like I don't got a dog in the fight. So almost just plead ignorance when it comes to a lot of this, when it comes to a lot of our history as Black people. I'll use some air quotes on that. but some people are asking a legitimate question if they're coming from the standpoint, if y'all are saying that the history that we were told was not true, what's the hard facts and evidence of y'all version of history? What's the hard facts and evidence that is true? That if they coming from that angle, I can't say that they just trying to cling on to victimhood.
And what I say is to the black people who continue to think that slavery and racism is why our community, quote unquote, is in the condition it's in, why do they consistently ignore the 100 years between our freedom and emancipation, quote unquote, in 1865 to the civil rights legislation passed in 1964, where black people voted 94% Democrat, and that become
Republican.
You mean
that
Republican?
begins
Republican. Just making a correction. You said Democrat by accident. You meant Republican.
I meant Republican.
Oh,
you
my
said
bad.
94% Democrat. Yeah.
My apologies. Yeah, for the very first time in American history, black people voted Democrat to that degree. Black people started to vote Democrat in the 1930s with FDR and the New Deal. They voted Herbert Hoover. He integrated the military in 1948. We gave him 70% of the black vote. And then in 1964, we gave LBJ 94% of the black vote that year. And he said he'd have these niggers voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And he was right. Now, why do we ignore...
Real quick, before you go forward, it's crazy how there were certain moments where black people voted Democrat at a high rate, like you said, like when the military got integrated or whatever.
Yes.
It's like they voted Democrat where, that's something that we want. This politician is for it. Let's go ahead and vote this way. But they didn't stay that way.
No.
How was it LBJ had the silver bullet KO shot that I'm going to have y'all forever? Because I get it. If somebody gives something that you want, hey, vote hard that way. The next election, it might be
was stuff to women. And that's how he kept the blacks in tow. He was the man out the house here, take this free crib president.
But the question, I just want to finish up real quick.
Go ahead. Finish your point.
The question becomes, how do those who are proponents that slavery has had such a detrimental effect, how do you ignore 100 years of black men building their own towns, their own banks, their own hotels, their own baseball leagues, filing for hundreds of patents on the products they created? Yes, did they face racism? Yes, did they deal with issues? Yes, with things put in their way largely by white Democrats. Okay, white Democrats gave you the black codes. White Democrats gave you Jim Crow. White Democrats gave you the KKK. White Democrats gave you the KKK.
That's true. Here's the thing, which is crazy because it came from up north. They came from Indiana. Here's I agree with you. But here's the thing. And even on voting patterns, I look at Mexicans. Mexicans historically vote Republican, except for Obama, because Obama was going to give them DACA. They voted for something. Black people vote for the brand. They love logos. Give them a logo. They'll be your slave. You'll be all right. What you're asking, my grandfather, who just died this year, 96 years old, he said that, man, most people didn't fight for civil rights. It's like most of us ain't want that. He's like, we was good. He said, man, they forced civil rights on us, and then revisionist history is all black people wanted civil rights, just like suddenly
most blacks were against Martin Luther King.
Right.
They hated him.
Let me ask you this. You said that was your grandfather that said most black people didn't fight for civil rights and didn't want it.
Yeah.
Didn't want it. All right. What was his argument? If you talk to him that deep about it, what was his argument as to why they didn't want it?
He said that, I'll tell you the story that brought it up. I'll give you the precursor to the story that brought it up. My grandfather moved from Mississippi when my mother's father moved from Mississippi when he was 14 years old, 13, 14 years old. Because it was some bullshit. It was Mississippi in the 1930s.
Yeah.
He had just seen his uncle get lynched, but he deserved it. But he a rider. So no, this is what happened. White man spit on I guess be my great uncle. White man spit on him. Uncle G, he went in there with his Mossberg. The dude owned a store, a little convenience store. Bought the bullets to the Mossberg from the guy who spit on him. Loaded the gun in front of the dude. Dude was like on some white power, like you can't do nothing to me. Like white is impenetrable. And uncle's like, all right, take that. Which you know what I'm saying. And then they chased him out of town and found him and hung him because he did a murder. But
Oh, wait a minute. So after he got spit on, he just went in there just casually after being spit on and bought bullets? Or did he already previously buy the bullets from the guy?
Oh, he got spit on, then went to the store and casually bought the bullets. And the white dude was so arrogant in his whiteness. He was like, this nigga ain't gonna do nothing to me.
Wow.
He
He
loaded up
bought the bullets, sat there, loaded the gun in front of him.
slowly though, you know what I'm saying? Non-threatening, you know what I'm saying? And then just up like,
wow. You know what? Where's the movies about your granddad? Like
so,
these are the civil rights heroes we can believe in.
you know,
Like for real. The movie could end right there with him being hung, just play some sad slave music, but he went out like a G.
he deserved it, but he went out like a G, right? I ain't mad at it. Right? So
damn.
So you know, my grandfather was going through similar bullshit because it's Mississippi. He had his little shooter, and he's like, man, they just hopped on a freight train. You know, when people used to hop freight trains like hobos and just wherever it end up, that's where you at. And he said he ended up in in St. Louis. This is why I don't believe in all these rape fantasies that black girls have of the master taking and making yellow babies. I don't believe that. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So when he got to St. Louis, white people had never seen a black person before, and they chased him up the street because they heard black people had a tail. So you can't tell me that all white people are into bestiality to the point that they trying to sleep with animals. I mean, you know, that's the rumor, but you know what I mean? So he's like, yo, they was not messing with black people like that. My other grandfather, my father's father, his favorite song, he was born in 1919. His favorite song was I don't want no jet back on my love. I know me for me. Cause she's so goddamn mean and evil. She might try to pause at me. And then my grandmother be like, Bill, quit singing that goddamn song to that boy. And then, but I never forgot that song. And then I looked it up one day and found out it was a Chain Gang song from his childhood. So that was his Nas. Like we look back, like, yo, remember Nas? That was his oldie but goodie. You know what I'm saying? And my paternal grandfather was telling me, like, yo, what nobody on these black girls like that. These black girls, like, there were situations where women were being sexually assaulted. That definitely happened. But they're like most of the time, black girls liked white guys. They wanted to swirl. Then I looked into the history of that and found out the reason we have marriage licenses is because after slavery, so many black women tried to marry white men that white women got mad and was like, y'all better do something about this, Earl. And they created a license just so you had to dictate what your race was to stop black women from marrying white men. Black men weren't trying to marry white women like that because we was getting lynched and stuff. We already knew, like, leave these white girls alone. It was the black women that was going after the white men. But now they claim us for swirling. Y'all passport bros, y'all swirling. It's crazy.
And real quick, you know how much I hate
I don't think you answered what did your dad
well, my grandfather
why did he say he didn't want civil rights?
Because he said that we already was getting money. He said, man, he said that civil rights shit was just so niggas could fuck white bitches. He said we was already getting money.
Yep.
And he said we was already pulling pistols. He said, what I look like letting a motherfucker sick dogs on me, I got a gun. He said, well, nobody with that shit.
And
he's right.
And real quick, you know, going back to the Democrats, these white Democrats through history, and why black people vote Democrat, it is beyond me. Birth of a Nation, you know, W.D. Griffith, how horrible of a movie was. W.D. Griffith was a Democrat, and the film Birth of a Nation was premiering at the White House while Woodrow Wilson, a white Democrat, was president. How much do I need to show you to get you to believe that this party is your enemy? White liberals, white Democrats are your enemy, your sworn enemy. Doesn't mean white conservatives are your friends. I've never told you that. And I don't give a shit if they're your friends. On the conservative side of the spectrum, we don't worry about who's our friends. We worry about our interests, and we can work with men who we share interests with. I wish these black leftist males would mature. You are so incredibly immature.
I want to add something because I was having a conversation with my aunt the other day. She's about 76, and a lot of what she's told me was similar to I've got your name. Who's next
Dirty
to me?
Folks.
Yeah, Dirty Folks. A lot of what she told me was similar because she, you know, when the HBCUs were a big thing back in the, you know, before the civil rights, and you know, we had our Negro leagues, we had our sports leagues, and the white leagues were suffering. They were losing money. So the Democratic universities were coming into the HBCUs, taking the players from those schools. And I think that's how they kind of infiltrated and kind of did what they did to change the mind. Because now, of course, HBCUs didn't have as much of a, a presence as the white schools. They had more money. They had more, uh, they had more infrastructure. But the thing was, they weren't educating the black man when they took them from the football team and put them on their football team. They weren't educating them. They were letting other people take their classes and courses and basically letting them be dumb. So now the men that got the success, like your Herschel Walkers, like your Deion Sanders, their minds are white supremacist minds. Their mindsets are already there. So that, I think that's how a lot of this is happening. Is they've taken our good men, like I think someone said on here, they took the good men and they basically switched them on to the other side. So now all we're left with is the degenerates and the liberal women that are taking control. So how do we fix that?
Well, sir, I would just provide a little pushback to you. I don't think the men were taken. A lot of our best and brightest black men were disrespected, were humiliated, were mistreated as children, and they got the hell away from black people. They just did. They just did. That didn't happen to me. I wasn't teased and shit. I was perfectly fine in the black community. I saw all these problems. And over the last 20 years, being an auto damage appraiser, for a while before COVID changed up the job, I would meet 5 or 6 new people every day driving and doing claims. A lot of them were black men that were policyholders for the insurance company I work for, and I would talk to them. I can steer a conversation in any direction, and I would find out things from these hundreds and hundreds of black men over the last 20 years. And I know what I'm talking about because I literally talked to hundreds of black men over the last 20 years. And bro, we are terrified of black women. It is a problem.
I know they are, right? That's
we
what
are terrified of them. Why are you terrified of black women? That's why men will come up here and have an issue with my tone. I was just on Sub-Zero's channel. I wasn't on it, but I was in the chat. Some guy in there was attacking me because of my tone and what I said. I typed in the chat, these modern American women are retarded, and how they pick men. The nigga started attacking me. Nate, your tone. You say such hateful things. And I started going in on the nigga because that's what he deserved until he said, don't you time me out. I didn't time out. Some other brother did. And then he stopped being stupid. But there were literally 10 goddamn comments where he's attacking things I say, but never disproving it. Why don't you disprove what I say? Instead of worrying about the tone. Again, these niggas have zero concern over all the aborted children. They have zero concern over the tens of thousands of black girls prostituting themselves on Instagram. Kanye West on Alex Jones said Instagram is the biggest prostitution platform in the world now that, Backpage is gone. So that's what a lot of young women, it's not just black women, but a lot of young black women, you will do nothing with a girl who's prostituting herself in her late teens and early 20s. You're never going to marry her. You're never going to be able to produce anything with her but single children and more failed, ruined communities. And niggas are mad with the way I'm addressing this shit when you don't say anything about them destroying themselves. Nigga, unlike the niggas that got something to say about me, I raised a daughter by myself.
Nate, take this out.
By myself.
Nate, and she probably is a beautiful young lady because girls can't do shit right, including raising other girls. But listen, so here's the thing. It's like being a SoundCloud rapper, right? Everybody want to rap, but everybody don't make it, right? So that's what girl prostitution is, because girls don't even know how to sell a coochie right. That's why when she had a pimp, it was $200. She do it herself, it's 40, and it's going down to 20. You know what I'm saying? They can't really manage shit right. So whatever they do, bro, they really want somebody to stop them, bro. They need to be stopped. They want to be stopped. But you're right, men are afraid of them, so they're afraid to stop them. So
are we afraid of them, or are we afraid that the justice system, legal system, can just swallow us whole?
Okay,
I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that. Well, okay, and that's a great segue. That's a great segue. I appreciate you bringing up that point, and we should discuss it. I just, I know Dirty was about to speak.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I got an example. If once y'all get finished, that's why I brought it up.
Okay, I'll address it. Getting swallowed whole by the justice system. I mean,
because I've had black women lie on me about stuff that never happened.
Oh yes,
they'll
yes.
make up, and then the cops will believe whatever they say, and they'll even help them out and say, "Oh, we got to lock this black man up." They'll fabricate a whole story, especially if you're a handsome man like myself, and women are attracted to you. But as soon as you show that you're not really about their bullshit, then they get upset and they want to, they want to try to get back at you. Women are vengeful people. They're very like you. Like I think someone said up here, they're what is it called? Vindictive. So
Well, see, I think it's a fundamental difference between you in a situation with a woman and she called the cops on some bullshit versus, some of the clips we played earlier where it's men marching in the whatever the hell that rally
with
was about.
these lunatics. Thank you.
I saw a bunch of black women, a bunch of white women, a bunch of suspect looking white dudes, and it was some black men holding up the signs, marching with them. Like, yeah, it's like
niggas.
Like, so that's a different thing, that these guys are, socialized and cultured in a way that just doesn't lend to manhooding properly. I'll just say that.
I'll go with that. And to co-sign what he said, because I've been through that. I had a girl call the police on me for domestic, but I was at work. I came home from work. They're like, "Yo, don't want to go."
That's what happened to me. Yeah, I was at work. I come home. The cops are there talking about. Like what?
I got a pre-record coming up. I wanted to drop today. It'll probably air in the morning tomorrow. Where I'm going to be talking about that that one chick, that comedian chick Yamanika, who talked about black women as if they're like some benevolent protectors of their attacker. How black women scared to call the police on the guy that's attacking them. No, I've seen black women call the police on guys that wasn't attacking them and say that this guy got a gun on the phone, on the phone saying he has a gun too. It's like so I do know where you're coming from, Mogo.
I dropped out.
I do know exactly where you're coming from, but I still think it's something. The way that a lot of black men operate when it comes to black women, it's not. I don't think it's out of just those situations where the cops may be involved and it's a woman's word versus your word. I don't think it's just that. It's something cultural. It's something cultural baked into the cake that's going wrong here too.
Some culture.
Yeah. Things have gone wrong way before the police get there.
That's
years before the police are called.
Plus,
things are already wrong, though.
Plus, if you ever in that incident, man, don't shake her shoulder because she's gonna call the police. You got to make sure she don't make it to the phone, baby. You got to go all out with it. Commit to the bit. Anyway, but I'm not playing. But look, so what?
We get it.
But here's the thing. You're talking about a system. I talk about systems all the time on my channel, right? Everybody has a system for their race. That's why I'm a fan of systemic racism. I'm a fan. Chinatowns and every city is a system for the Asian race. Little Italy's, little Mexico's, a system for their race. When the Asians can get the height restriction from 5'8" to 5'4" so they can police their own communities, a system for their race.
Wait a minute. I didn't even ever thought about that. It's a height restriction when it comes to being a cop.
Yeah, it used to be a height and you had to lift a certain amount. Had all that taken away.
I thought all that was been thrown out the window with female cops.
The agents took the height restriction out, and the female cops took the
weight requirement.
Yeah, the weight requirements out.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just a system for the race. If men want to be men build the system and the infrastructure, and then you can create the system in which when she makes that call. It's funny how blacks talk about white supremacy, but the only white people in black communities are police officers and white teachers. White people don't even own the stores in black communities. Those are Arabs and Asians.
Here's the deal with what you're saying. When you're talking about create that system to where when she make that call, it's a system in place to where you're at advantage. And I would argue like this is how far we're behind with this. The way that everything is, let's just put it like this. Let's just take black people and give black people the majority of the Senate seats. Give black people the majority of the governors, the House of Representatives. Make all of that black. The way that the way that shit is, it would, based off the current mindset of black people, I would say wouldn't a damn thing change.
It wouldn't, because they're not
Just
part
like
of the
giving
system.
blacks reparations in our current mindset would be a complete waste.
And reparations would be dumb because y'all go by color instead of by paternity. If they said right now, cool, we got to check for y'all. All y'all got to do is prove that your great grandparent was in America. He ain't got to be a slave. He was in America in 1860, because they started birth certificates in 1860, 1850, something like that. So you could prove that. You got to prove that your daddy's daddy was here. These motherfuckers don't know who knocked them up, nigga. I was at Freaknik. I know they don't know who their baby daddy is, so they still wouldn't get the check. So now they got to go by color, which means any nationality that claim black could get the, including Mexicans, could get a check. Yeah. So they still wouldn't get no money.
Black men was in full power right now. We wouldn't see the child custody laws wouldn't change instantly. Wouldn't none of that shit change. They would just basically vote for more feminism. They literally would.
But Bernard, I mean, and look, I'm not attacking all black people. I am saying black Democrats are just the worst people in the world. Donald Trump was in talks with Ice Cube for about as close as you have ever gotten to anything resembling reparations. $500 billion specifically for black people, not minorities, not intersectional people of color, for black Americans, black men primarily, and women. How did the four nightmare whores on Sluts with Cocktails treat Ice Cube? How did black America treat the man that made such a profound overture to them in an attempt, granted, to get their vote? But what a beautiful way.
Okay,
Just let me finish,
yeah.
please. Black people are so remarkably stupid on the left. You know about a man with how he attempts to attract you, okay? Donald Trump used funding education at HBCUs, freeing almost 9,000 black people who had, quote unquote, allegedly been given too long of a sentence for their crimes. He brought black unemployment down to its lowest rate in over 50 years. And he was in talks to give black people, let's not forget the opportunity zones, over 8,700 opportunity zones, many in close proximity to poor black communities, where that's private funding for you to go qualify for and start a business. Almost no black people took advantage of it.
You know what's so crazy about
and
that?
Just let me, I'm almost done.
Go ahead.
And $500 billion for business for black people, and filthy, disgusting, degenerate, worthless nigga trash not only not voted for him, 20% of black men, 9% of black women did. And salute to those magnificent black people. I hope to see many of those 20% men in June in Charlotte at the Black Manosphere meetup. But what's really amazing is these filthy fucking degenerates were in the street doing the electric slide. Fat black women and Fanuc bloody butt boy black men were in the street doing the electric slide for Biden. And what did Biden offer you? Al Sharpton, in the first meeting, Al Sharpton wanted Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. That filthy devil said, no, I'm not putting her on the $20 bill. You'll be happy with what we give you in the Democrat Party. And then a few months later, Biden gave you crack pipes.
I didn't get my crack pipe.
Trump, I got to finish
already.
Look at what Trump gave you and look at what Biden offered you.
I'm saying, man,
niggas deserve to burn. Niggas deserve to burn.
That's what's up. Slavery coming back. I ain't get my crack pipe though, so I don't even. I know I didn't vote for him, but I thought all the colors got crack pipe. I ain't even get no crack pipe. Two things. Number one, the opportunity zones already existed. They were called hub zones, housing and urban business. We had them in Chicago already, at least.
No, understood.
But he was going to increase the funding to him, so
yes,
I know with that. And
$100 billion.
And those were the means I was going to, where white women were telling black women how to be minorities. I know exactly what you're talking about. The other, you said a lot.
I always do.
You said something before
While you
that.
try to remember what he said, I'm gonna read this super chat real quick. Rich Turner in the building with a $20 super chat. He says, "That's cap. I've personally coached against Dion in one of the worst neighborhoods in Dallas and witnessed him be amongst the people with no security. He is a businessman and don't owe black people nothing but a blueprint."
Thank you. I remember what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Thank you for that super chat. I'll speak on that, but I want to hear Dirty Folks
I'm gonna make this
say what
real
he's gonna
quick.
say.
Black women turned out. There was a Obama when he was a lame duck president. His last year of his last term tried to initiate what he called the Big Brother Project, which was going to help black boys and black women shut it down and say if the girls ain't included, boys don't deserve nothing.
Oh my God! Wow.
These your people. That's why when I say what I say, it's not from a sexual mating thing. It's from anything you want good in your life, they try to take it away from you. That's where I'm at with it.
And that's why I'm not trying to quote unquote save black women. I want whatever percentage, and brothers have their percentages. They usually say like 5% on mine, but whatever percentage of unruined, still viable black women there are in this country, I'd like for them to get as far away from your average rank and file black feminist murder mommy Democrat nightmare whore that's on the left, that's a member of the sisterhood. I want the decent black women to get away from them. You are never going to save a woman who has more babies to get more welfare. You're never going to save her. I'm sorry. You're never going to save a group of women who take pride in, quote unquote, having the right to kill their children. They're marching in the street for the right. On the BET Awards, this is the last thing I'll say. BET Awards, for the 2 years previous to this, 2020, 2021, almost the whole goddamn production was about Black Lives Matter, celebrating these filthy, disgusting, lesbianist nightmares and their Act Blue hustle to fund Democrat Party campaigns through the blood of dead black men, mind you. Okay? So 2020, 2021, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, blah, 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 blah. This year at the BET Awards, Janelle Monáe, that weird retarded R&B singer,
right?
Jasmine Sullivan, I broke the windows in his car, yeah. And the host Taraji P. Henson are all angry, cursing out SCOTUS, cursing out Clarence Thomas. The last racism I saw was a bunch of white liberals calling Clarence Thomas a nigger on Twitter. Hard ER. It's the last racism I saw. So these three magnificent, beautiful black queens are on the BET Awards angry because they can't take black lives anymore in all 50 states. The 2 previous years, it was all about Black Lives Matter. What the fuck? Do you see the illogical hypocrisy and contradictions of black Democrats and black liberal female leadership? It is a nightmare of stupidity and failure. And until black men come out of it, that's why I'm so adamant. That's why I'm so passionate. That's why I've destroyed every Democrat I've ever debated anywhere in the world. That's why I do what I do. I need to get my best and brightest black men the fuck off the plantation as soon as possible before all is lost.
We'll talk
all of it.
We'll talk about it. You got to incentivize it, but we'll talk about it. I mean, that's you have to, bro. It's part of the rebrand. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep yelling black men. Y'all yell black man. The women, gays, and felons think y'all really fighting for them because they're gonna take. Here's what's so crazy.
No, it's impossible that they could listen to Nate saying black. That women, gays, and felons could listen to Nate say black. If to think for any second that Nate is who they fighting for, I don't think that's possible.
You know what? There's a black girl.
And how do you pull that off? Having a discussion about black people without saying black?
No, there's a black girl who she made a.
Just did it. You just did it. No,
because she black. She a girl. So it's this black girl.
What do you call black men?
Tony and swarthy.
What?
Tony and swarthy.
Okay.
That's what you were in the Constitution when you got the freedom. Anyway, so there was this black girl who I think she had like a cure for some type of cancer. I don't know what type of cancer, but she did a wonderful thing. And I couldn't even be proud of her because instead of taking her victory lap for her accomplishments, which was phenomenal, she got in and said, yeah, I did this with Black Girl Magic. I said, motherfucker. Look, they are annoying.
Yeah.
Because when men do something, black people did it. When women do something, it's Black Girl Magic. Men don't have nothing to do with it. They tell you they're not your people. And I'm agreeing with them, like, you're not my people.
Facts.
But black men, I'm sorry, dog. It's not just the women. Black high-level collegiate athletes go to the draft. What do? They get up there and they thank their single mama who was probably fucking men around them their entire lives. And the man that took them under their wing, the mentor, maybe one of the mom's boyfriends, whatever man took them under their wing to make them proficient in said sport, seldom even get acknowledged. Seldom, but mom gets all the praise. Mom didn't teach you anything about the sport you're excellent in. But mom gets all the praise because mom kept you in a government subsidized apartment. Why don't you thank the taxpayers, nigga? Thank all the taxpayers for the warm meals and you having a roof over your head for $15 a month. Thank the fucking taxpayers for that. You can thank her too, but thank all the men that made it possible for your mother to be on welfare.
You know what? The last single mother, great athlete that I saw do that was Allen Iverson, and I respected him for that. When he thanked his high school coach, he thanked Coach Thompson at Georgetown for saving his life, and then he also thanked his mother. But he thanked the men who made a difference in his life, and I thought that was dope. I stopped watching the NBA because how Kevin Durant mama sunned him on the 20th anniversary of Michael Jordan.
Oh, I thought you were talking about she grabbed his face after he won that championship.
Yeah, when he won I said I can't watch it. This was the 20th anniversary of Michael Jordan crying because his dad got killed and he won the championship on Father's Day. Now you fast forward 20 years and you got Kevin Durant getting some, but Steph Curry's dad was there. Dale was there. Michael Thompson was there. You know what I'm saying? Andre Iguodala's dad was there, and it was Father's Day. And all they kept talking about was how pretty Steph mom was and how Draymond mama was in the crowd. I was like, yo, I can't watch this presentation.
Yeah.
And didn't LeBron's mom fuck some of the teammates and shit?
Allegedly.
You have so little respect for your absolute top level 1% son. You would fuck his teammates, nigga. A lot of these moms are.
Hold on. Dirty folks kind of scoffed at my allegedly. You said, if these are hard facts, lay it out.
No, bro, lay it out.
No, I just laughed because he said LeBron James' mom smashed the teammate. I got friends in Cleveland, so they had an event on trying to find out who LeBron James' biological dad was because she don't know, and they said 200 men showed up for a blood test. I say, you can only get pregnant 5 days a month. Like, this is your numbers.
Hey, just keeping it real. Even if I didn't smash, I might have showed up. Just run, just to take my blood, see what happened. Let me see if I can.
Ain't no telling. LeBron James has a 39-year-old father. Wow, that's great.
Let's just see if some freak accident they pin LeBron James on me. Let me try.
I saw that on the toilet at the club.
I take credit for that shit.
Dude, do you remember? I can't remember the name of the athlete. He was at the draft. He picked a school his mama didn't like. That wretched wench got up and walked out. Who was that?
Oh, when he went to Florida State?
Yes.
He got paid.
His mama got up and walked out of the venue.
Yeah, I remember that. Hey,
because he didn't pick the school this wretched wench wanted him to go to.
No, got paid to tell him to go to. And on top of that, shout out to that young man and his brother because both of them had white girlfriends. Shout out to that.
Yes, the white woman was sitting there too. White broad sitting there. I swear, so many black women, and no, it's not all, but so many of them take every single opportunity they're given to absolutely destroy black women's image across the country. On my show, I put up a poll. I said, will Black women please take a 10-year moratorium from the internet so the entire country and really the world can be purged of all the horrific images of Black women cursing, fighting, spitting on people, snatching other people's wigs off, fighting in every conceivable venue you can imagine, gas stations, in the street, in apartments, in department stores, in Walmart, just fights, Black female fights everywhere. And niggas are like, oh, this guy, oh, he's never gonna get a woman. Nigga, please. I can't wait till you see me at the Man Is For meeting. I can't fucking wait. I'm on my weight loss journey too, you bitch. Okay? I can't wait till you see. So it's amazing.
I was daydreaming and I just woke up and heard him say on his weight loss.
I'm on my weight loss journey too, nigga. I'm on the treadmill every night, dog.
Oh, that's what's
I'm
up.
already down 25 pounds, but
oh shit, that's what's up.
Because niggas want to clown a nigga who's actually building something. I'm a pull my shit out and smack you in the face with it in June. Watch, okay? Now,
right.
That's right. Pause.
I'm gonna knock you niggas in the face with my shit. Okay? I'm serious. But bruh, these women, nigga, I'm 48 years old, right? I cannot imagine what it would be like to be an 8-year-old boy today, where my other 8-year-old little male friends can go to the internet and pull up a video of my mama twerking or grinding on some nigga or sitting with her lesbian lover blowing weed smoke in my little brother's face. These monsters don't give a fuck about what their children must be going through, especially their sons.
Here's the
With
thing.
all this inappropriate filth. What, Bernard, what would you do if you were 8 years old and some boy brought, and I'm sure your mom didn't do this, but and your mom was on the internet doing the most inappropriate, filthy, and disgusting shit? How would you process that as an 8 or 10-year-old boy? Imagine the depression that would send you into. What little boys must be going through, especially Black little boys, because no one's more perverse and insane on the internet than the ABW.
Well, here's the thing. It really wouldn't matter because by then you'll have some lesbian in your school teaching you how to suck swallow with a grapefruit because that's what they're doing anyway. Here's the thing, bro. Historically speaking, my father told me this just out the blue. I have no idea why he told me this, but it stuck with me my whole life. I'm 19 years old. We at the breakfast nook, and we drinking tea because that's my dad thing. We drinking tea, and he just busts out. Women don't like children; they just like babies.
Damn.
Ooh, shit.
I was like, where this come from? But ever since he said it, it's that red car. Once you hear it, you notice it everywhere. Girls will be beating a 12-year-old kid up in the store. Oh, get away! And then see a baby carries. Oh my God, I got baby fever.
I can tell you why, dirty folks.
Because it's the only time they are older than somebody because they toddlers their whole life. So
my opinion is this, real quick. The reason they only like babies is because babies get them attention. Toddlers and older children, all the attention wears off. Babies get women all the attention you can imagine. Parties are thrown for the woman, you know, the what is it?
Baby shower.
Pregnancy party. What is that called?
Baby shower.
All the attention is put on this pregnant woman. The world acquiesces to her. They open up doors. Oh my God, a pregnant woman's coming. Oh, dude, they're the superstar. There's the only other event that gives them that much attention is a wedding, but they can't get weddings, but they can get pregnant. So that's why they love babies and hate children.
But here's the thing. With that being said, and I want to read that super chat because that was hilarious. But with that being said,
wait, hold on, which one? Where we at? Hold on, wait. Dirty folks is real deal. Shout out raised up. Shout out to Tomcat. Shout out to
Tomcat. I ain't what I'm talking about.
But Freeman Journal in the building says Tim Weah, U.S. Soccer. His dad is George Weah. He won the Ballon d'Or. See, I don't know this shit. Ballon d'Or World MVP in soccer. Is now president of
Liberia.
President of Liberia. What do you mean?
I guess there's another half coming.
It's another half. There's a second half. I saw. I ain't even see the first you just read. It's the second half.
No, I guess he has another chat that might be coming or something.
No, it's already came up. I saw it.
Oh, it did. Okay,
caught my attention.
Oh shit! I be missing some of them because I don't got somebody clicking on all of them right now. All right. Here we go. During the World Cup, all the media did was talk about how Tim Weah's first coach was his mom.
Wow.
No black man can have a good dad. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that.
Bro, I've had women in this space. Well, no, I've had 2 women insult and disrespect me despite knowing what I've done. Winning custody in 2004 when my children were 2 and 5 after I filed for divorce. Something men don't even do.
Yeah, men don't even do that.
Men don't even do that.
You dissed the chick and took the kids. Shout out to you,
nigga. You're talking to a man, my right hand to God and on the lives of my children. I kept everything in my divorce. She got nothing except what she owned. She packed it up and she went out of the townhouse I was renting. She left.
You pulled a strong, independent baby mama move. Shout out to you, sir.
Yeah. That's fucking hard to do. That is just flat out.
And niggas want to try to clown me. Stop it. Stop it.
Here's what I was going to say with that. Because women really don't like their kids, they just want credit for other people raising their kids for them. They only want to be mothers on picture day anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
The secret to the colored woman is easy. She'll give her child to anyone except the biological dad.
Oh my God.
I've seen it. Seen it.
So she even uses the children and think they're an asset to other men.
I know, right? They're crazy, right? Because girls.
That's insanity. Yeah, my children are good. You know, my children, haven't been convicted of a crime yet. My children haven't been, they don't have any felonies yet. My children are an asset to a completely different man from their father.
But they are assets to me because I need shooters. Now, here's the thing. No, for real. So
my God,
what I have learned, because the greatest grassroots men organization really are street gangs, because they take your kid at 10 years old and say, this is what you're going to be and this is what your role going to be. If you don't put your kids in sports, that a man going to teach your kids, because she can't teach them shit. I had to teach a little boy how to ride a bike. And then a mama cussed me out. What you touching my kid for? Like, this? Look, anyway, girls is dumb. If you really want to do it, all you do is what everybody else does. You see who tests well, and then the same thing Jack and Jill does. You see who tests well, then you grab their kids from them. Tell them you're gonna raise the kids for them, and give her all the credit, and she gonna say yeah, and she gonna brag to her friends how somebody else is raising her kids for them, and she gonna show that shiny brochure you gave her. That's all it takes, a shiny brochure. You ain't gotta have no pedigree or nothing. Give her a shiny brochure. She'll give you a son, and keep it moving.
Yeah, but all right, I was planning on we didn't win long because it got good, it got interesting, so I ain't even go complain. But we went way past the time that I wanted to go on. But so we about to get up out of here. Thanks, dirty folks, for coming through, dropping lots of truth bombs on it. I still don't like how you be saying y'all when which is
we gotta hate that dirty.
And let's make a correction, because I came in the other day and you thought I was talking about you. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about the police officer from Louisiana who was like, yo, I wouldn't convict the dude for attempt murder, but if I did, I was like, yo, that don't make no sense, yo. Like, that's how you get paid. I wasn't talking about you. You was like, yo, I'm like, I wasn't talking about you. But
yeah.
But yeah. All right,
but no, it's all good though. But no, good stuff. I'm glad you came up. Definitely, you and OG definitely made it interesting for the time he was up here as well. Shout out to OG. But shout out to everybody in the building. Hey, y'all do
got a cash app. I got to call out, Bernard.
Oh yeah. Do that.
I did get one cash app. Shout out to brother Hoop Jargon. You'll be able to see Hoop Jargon. Our black ESPN aficionado. He's at all the top shit. He's going to be at the football press the Super Bowl press conference. I mean, he's a big deal. Shout out to brother Hoop Jargon. Hit me with the 5 for the WND. See, the people in the chat why is he so mad? Why is he make me feel so insecure and stupid? Well, it's because I'm so much smarter than you, number one. And number two,
I was going to talk about your short man complex too, but
I know. Hey, I'm 5'5", dog. I'm 5'5". It is what it is.
OG,
real quick before y'all get out of here, as people filing out of here, go check out Rod of God's pre-record that he dropped right there. That's his link to it right there. Y'all go check that out. Let that be the link when y'all walk up out of here. Go check out that. He said he put a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears into it. So make sure y'all go check that out as y'all gradually war making your way out here. Dirty folks them pulled out a damn cookie is eating.
No, man, I got an apple pie from McDonald's, bro.
The
Look,
McDonald's apple pie. Ooh,
Oh
I know
my
that.
God.
all right, I'm
You
killing
know those
myself
aren't
slow.
apples, right?
I'm killing myself slow, bro. Look,
But
sub to the Dirty Folks channel, man. I got content coming, man. I appreciate you letting me join your panel. Real
yeah,
talk.
no doubt.
I'm out.
And you'll be able to
But
see
go ahead,
Dirty
little
Folks.
big Nate. You got the final words, Nate. Go ahead and go ahead and take us home. But yeah, if you're leaving, click the link right there. Click the link right there to Ride of God's most recent video. But go ahead, Nate. You got it. Take us home.
And don't forget to subscribe to my Rumble channel. I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, that too.
Because once I get 100 rumbles or rumblers or whatever you call them, I'll be in a position to stream uncensored. You think this is severe? You have no idea what you're in for. You have no idea what you're in for on Rumble with me. When no one's gonna strike me, no one's gonna be able to report me. I can't believe he said that. You're just gonna get pure, unadulterated WND. I can drop the F bomb. I can drop any bomb I want to, and it's going to be awesome. So please come through. Also subscribe to the Little Big Nate Show too. Again, I've done a last couple of streams I did. A lot of people love them. I got 300 subscribers. I'm getting 400 or 500 views, which is kind of strange, but that's how things usually work with me. If I could only keep a channel, I just insist on saying what I believe is the truth. And if it costs me a channel, so be it. It won't cost me anything on Rumble. So please come through.
Yeah, there's still 172 people in here. If you like what you heard today from Little Big Nate, there's no reason why at least half of y'all shouldn't just go click right on that Rumble link right now and go subscribe to Nate on Rumble.
Subscribe. It's so simple. Black people, we're creatures of habit. I know, a lot of people, may not want to do the Rumble thing, but there's a lot of big talent over there. Your boy Tommy's over there.
Like you going full time, going hard, getting numbers and everything over there.
Well, I haven't followed it too much. I saw one, and he's over there. He's got I think he has between 2,000-3,000 subscribers. He's live streaming. Your boy Andrew Tate. I mean, the premier social media personality this year and probably next year too, is over there streaming. 127,000 live listeners on his first Rumble stream. 127,000. Fresh and Fit is on Rumble. They start their show on YouTube and then they go to Rumble and go ape shit. They talk the way a man is supposed to talk.
Wait, hold on. You mean they do their live show on YouTube and then after they shut YouTube down, they finish it on Rumble?
Yes, they will go to Rumble and finish up the show and do other stuff on Rumble.
Wow.
There's a gentleman by the name of Sneeko. He was becoming a huge YouTube celebrity.
Yeah, I know. I heard about him.
Yeah, my son likes Sneeko. He introduced him to me, and they shut his channel down because he leans conservative. He's completely logical, so he had to leave. He's doing great numbers on Rumble. I think Rumble for the men who want to say what they want to say and have the ability to build their audience based off their talent and their abilities. I think Rumble's the place to do it. And not to say you should leave.
Are they at all in the process of making it monetizable or anything?
Whoa.
Like that?
Everything's monetized. From day one, you're monetized.
Oh, so no, I mean, so right when you get on there, people can like super chat if they got
from day one.
They got a super chat equivalent to whole works, everything.
Absolutely. You get paid. My video has 80 views. I put up one of the videos that they struck, which is my celebration of Mental Illness Month, the month of June, Pride Month. I put it up there. I've already earned a nickel from the views I got. So, yeah, I'm monetized. The first time I've ever been monetized on social media. Yeah. So come through and check it out. Hopefully, I'll be back next Sunday. Hopefully, Bernard will have me back. We'll have another incredible topic to discuss, I promise you. But I couldn't announce the Manosphere meetup information because I didn't get my 300 listeners. You gotta help me meet these attendance goals, y'all. I'll give you all the information. You just gotta help me meet the attendance goal. That's it.
All right. We about to get up on out of here. I'd like to thank everybody who participated in any way, shape, or form. Everybody who liked, shared, subscribed, super chatted, Cash App, did anything to support the stream in any way, shape, or form. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Peace. We gone.